Welcome to the IMON podcast. I'm your host. I'm on the edge of my seat here, and today I'm going to spend the next hour or so discussing my entire gaming backlog. I say hour, but I'm not 100% sure how long this is going to last. This is going to be a little bit freeform, and like many before me, this will be my first time conducting myself as a pilot. And as a pilot, I guess I might as well choose the game that best simulates being a pilot. Right here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 piles of games comprising over 70 or so games in my backlog which are physical and I haven't played yet. I'm not going to include digital releases here because that's just going to complicate things even further. But in these 7 piles, I'm going to pull them all one by one, show them up to the camera, discuss my story, and we're going to have a 2026 version of Show and Tell for the first episode, the pilot to the IMON podcast. I chose this topic because I think I'll be able to talk for quite a while, because with a lot of these games, I have a varied history, and I think there's a lot of interesting details that I can tell you, the viewer, about, and I think the format can go to other pieces of media. I think it's good to kind of start off broad here, but like reach wide. I don't know whether to call that. I like using these buzzwords, a minimalist or maximalist approach. And I think this might be a maximalist approach, but I'm also just kind of pulling that word out of a hat. I'm not sure if it really applies here because maximalism is just max, going full on, everything has to be exaggerated and all that. So an exaggerated amount of games, you could spend one episode discussing a single game and you could take the same amount of time. I guess that would be going max into that game. While here I have a max amount of games, but I'm going min into each of them. You don't say that. You don't say you're going min into this. People have used mid, they have used max, but min, they've used minus, minimalist, but min? Because min already sounds too close to mid. But anyways, let's start off with the most pilot game in my collection. This is a game I acquired at Goodwill. It is called Lost Planet for the PC. And if it doesn't show up on the camera, I'll put it behind me. It's a good thing I kind of start off with a green screen here. I also brought a green shirt to kind of set myself up here. And for the mic, I kind of wanted to remove any complications, so I'm using this like DJI mic. I say DG. Is there even a G in this brand? I mean, hey, I don't have any sponsorships. It doesn't really matter. But Lost Planet, I say I have a varied history with every game. This is a game I don't have much of a history with. I just kind of picked it up at Goodwill because I've heard things about it. I heard it's like, all right, I guess. And I do miss these boxes, these big PC boxes. I do have a history with that. I remember that one of the first PC games I played was the TMNT game based on the TMNT movie, the one where they're all like CGI, and it was apparently like the 4th entry in the original live action trilogy, but it was all CGI and it was edgy. And Leo and Ralph have like that one fight, which is like the only thing people remember from that movie. But the first time I played the video game adaptation of that thing was a PC copy given to me by my parents, and it was just magical. It was like entering like a whole new world. Like, I don't know, I remember the graphics looked amazing. Like, I don't know, something about just entering that thing, like the Ubisoft logo, like the way they did it back in the day, like dun 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 dun. Like everything about how I entered that game was insane. And of course, I didn't beat it. I didn't get very far in the PC version. I think like that was child me. I got stuck on a lot of parts. I think like I was even like a little bit scared or maybe just like thrilled. When you're watching like an adventure movie and you're fully into the stakes and they're going down the minecart or something. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm actually scared right now. That's how I was playing that TMNT game. So I have very fond memories of that game, though I did, not too recently, but a few years back, I did a stream of it, the GameCube version, which I came back a little bit more negative on the game because the combat in that is just so repetitive. But I also did myself a disservice because I played the version that was at 30 FPS. Like with some of these old games, like you want to play them retro, you want to play them like, oh, I want to play the retro version, but sometimes you really should do some research into which one was the original version because you might be playing the one that runs at 30 FPS when there's a version that runs at 60 FPS. I ran into a similar issue when with Ice Age 2 The Meltdown. I was emulating like the GameCube port and I'm like, wow, this doesn't feel very good to play. And then I bought myself a Nintendo Wii copy for like $5 because I heard that ran at 60 FPS. And the Nintendo Wii port of Ice Age 2 The Meltdown was a childhood game for me. I actually played that as a child. And it runs at 60 FPS. I think like the only versions that run at 60 FPS were like the original Xbox version, the Nintendo Wii version, and the PC version. But I might actually be wrong on that. I just heard that the original Xbox version was like the original like base version of Ice Age 2 The Meltdown, and I'd say the base version should run at 60 FPS. But if it doesn't, then you ought to stick with the Nintendo Wii and the PC version. Though PC might be the best because the Nintendo Wii has some very annoying gimmicks with like wagging the stick, but that's a very lovely game. It's a nice chill platformer. It is made for babies. It is very easy, but it feels nice to play. It's a fun collectathon, but it's a very casual game. But yeah, that has nothing to do with Lost Planet. I think another fun thing with these sort of old PC things is that, okay, so we have a disc here, we have a manual, but there's no guarantee that this will actually work because a lot of these old PC games kind of like lock themselves off with like a code. You have to go to some website to like unlock the game so that you don't pirate anything. But that website is probably defunct and you can't play this anymore. And it probably doesn't like correlate at all with like the port on Steam. So buying this, there's no reason to buy this, I'm pretty sure. But I got this for $2, so how much money did I really lose? So there we go, that's one game down. Though I will say my sadness with PC copies got introduced to me with Splinter Cell Pandora Tomorrow, because that game for the longest time, like Ubisoft did not have it on Uplay, like their own Steam store. It wasn't on Steam. You could buy every single Splinter Cell game except for Pandora Tomorrow, which is part of the original trilogy. And Pandora Tomorrow, after I actually got to play it, it's a great game, but I bought myself a physical PC copy and it didn't work because when I put it into my PC, you needed a code from a now defunct website. So literally the only way to effectively play your physical copy of Splinter Cell Pandora Tomorrow is that you have to pirate the game. And I don't feel bad about saying that because Ubisoft did not provide a single alternative to that fact. However, last year they did. There's a copy of it on Steam. It is broken, you do have to mod it to fix it, but you can pay Ubisoft to get yourself a copy of Splinter Cell Pandora Tomorrow finally. And it's a great game. Y'all should play that game. I already beat it. I already did a no damage video on it. But I'm just glad that like a casual person can actually go on Steam, buy it, and we'll have to modify it a bit to actually get it working correctly. But hop on the original Splinter Cell trilogy. They're really dope games. And just continuing with the Ubisoft games. Oh, well, this is actually going to be a bit redundant because I own this on PC and PS2. But once again, the PC version is, there's no reason to get this. I got this in Iceland in like a pawn shop. Not a pawn shop, like I don't know whether to call it a pawn shop, a thrift store, or an antique shop, but it was just like a bunch of little trinkets, and some of the trinkets were just old PC copies in like a different language. This is probably like region locked, and it probably requires like some sort of server. And look at this cover art. Look at this cover art. We got like the Prince of Persia doing this. We got these letters. I don't think it's the same on the PS2 cover art, and I hope it is showing up visually. I mean, my camera's pretty nice. I'm not shooting in raw footage because I don't want my thing to die because this could go on for like an hour or so, but yeah, no, I mean, there's no reason for me to have this, but I got like 5 or 6 different PC games in an antique shop in Iceland for like $10. So once again, I mean, what am I really losing here? So all right, we're done with that. However, let's talk about something where I did lose a lot of money. Well, lose is the wrong way to put it because from what I've played, this is an excellent purchase. It's just that I spent $200 on a physical copy of Def Jam Fight for New York. Now, what is Def Jam Fight for New York? Def Jam is a record label. Okay, that's how it goes. But that doesn't matter for the game. Def Jam, in the context of this game, is a 3D brawler where you can embody any like famous rapper from that era to beat the shit out of other rappers. And its combat system was used again because the same developers of this game got to develop the Yakuza spin-off Kuruhyo, the Black Panther games, and I played those games. I no damage the boss fights in them. Those games have an awesome combat system. And the little I've played of this, yeah, it's the same combat system, same moves, same animations, almost the same style, but the way this game handles heat and boss fights and just kind of like story progression is a bit different, but like from what I played, this is still really fun. However, this has introduced me to an issue called the multi-tap like add-on. Because this game can be 4 players, not 4 players, but you can play as 4 different players. You can have 1, 2, 3, 4 people brawling against each other at the same time, but you need to have something to plug into the second port of your PS2, which extends the amount of ports so that 4 controllers can be connected, because if you don't get the multi-tap, you can only plug in 2 controllers into your PS2, and then the other 2 players, when you do those 4-man brawls, have to be controlled by the computer. So that's the one sadness there. This game right here is a no damage target. I do want to no damage this one. It is possible. Someone else has made a video on it, and I want to be the second, third, or fourth person to also make a video on Death Jam Fight for New York. Consider this like the unofficial like starter to the Kuruhyo like no damages. I'm also gonna have to revisit those Kuruhyo games eventually to no damage the long battles in those. Well, the long battles, like those games, Kuruhyo 1 doesn't have long battles, it has group battles, which I'm gonna pretend are long battles. And Kuruhyo 2 does have a semblance of a long battle. It's very strange in that game. But wait, we're not talking about games I've beaten. Let's move on. All right, here we go. Let's go over the modern game here. Nintendo Switch 2, Donkey Kong Bonanza. Also known as the only killer app on the Switch 2. I did buy myself a Switch 2, yes. I did waste a lot of money getting it, but now I can run Breath of the Wild at 60 FPS. That'll be important for later. But I haven't beaten this one. I mean, I haven't even taken it out the wrapping. I don't know, this is a game which I'd love to do for the channel. This is a game I just want to play in general. I mean, it's the same team as Super Mario Odyssey. Really enjoyed that game back in the day. And I guess I'm glad that the Switch 2 is like backwards compatible for now. I guess whenever a console is backwards compatible, you always want to be careful that it doesn't come with any issues. So you kind of keep the old console around just in case the new console somehow fucks up something from the original. Like, let's take, for example, the PS2. The fat model of the PS2 can play PS1 games. So I buy myself a copy of Metal Gear Solid for the PS1. I play through it, but once I reach the second disc, the game keeps freezing every time I tried to save the game, and then I look it up online, and apparently that was an issue when trying to play a PS1 copy of Metal Gear Solid 1 on the PS2 when transitioning to the second disc, and the issue doesn't appear when you're playing it on an original PS1 console, and now I'm just really sad. Well, what the fuck? But that has nothing to do with Donkey Kong here. I own a good variety of Donkey Kong games, and I have not beaten any of these Donkey Kong games, and I like to, well, maybe I won't start with this one. This could be like the second or third or fourth Donkey Kong game that I beat before getting to this one, but this game looks sick. I want to play it, and also it's like one of the only games I could play right now that isn't mature. I guess like my channel content has kind of like led me down a very strict line of games. You know, I've been mostly playing mature games. I mean, hey, the Kuruhyo games, they're teen rated, eh? So I guess that kind of breaks the monotony. All right, moving on. Here I have a bit of a doozy. This is kind of gonna break the form. So here you see Super Paper Mario. Okay, the third entry in the Paper Mario franchise. But if you open the case, you have a copy of Super Mario Galaxy, which breaks the rules of this first episode because I'm supposed to talk about my backlog of games. But I've already beaten Super Mario Galaxy. But I haven't beaten Super Paper Mario, but I don't have a DVD. Well, can these even be considered DVDs? I mean, when you have a PS3 game, that's like a Blu-ray, but the Wii isn't Blu-rays. Those still gotta be DVDs, right? But yeah, I don't have a DVD of Super Paper Mario, so I own the case. I have the memory of, oh, I never beat this game, but I don't have the means to actually play it and, you know, get it off my backlog. So in a way, this is permanently stuck in my backlog, and also it is kind of a non-permanent pain in my ass because I really want the cover for Super Mario Galaxy. Okay, so you see the disc here, it kind of gives you the impression of what the cover of Super Mario Galaxy looks like, but it's very nostalgic to me. I think it looks really nice, though I think some people might find it a bit like corny, like the render of Mario going around going wahoo or whatever, you know? But it sparks something imaginative in me, and you only really get a brief glimpse of it on this disc, which kind of makes all the colors blue and red. I could make myself blue and red if I wanted to in editing. I'll see if I get to that once I go to the next game here. Let's go purple. Well, actually, it's not gonna make sense to say purple when really this is a gold cartridge. So, The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Now, you're seeing a Nintendo 64 cart here, right? But this comes with a whole host of issues and also a whole host of lies. I am lying to you, this is not an original cartridge. This is like a replacement or a reprint, or there's another weird term for it, but basically what it means is that if you try to sell this to a retro game store, they're gonna look you in the eye and tell you, we're not gonna give you anything for this is not original, get out of our store. They'll also do that to you if you try to sell them an Xbox 360. They'll be like, we have 50 of those, we don't need yours, get out of our store. That happened to me quite a few times in Chicago. I mean, hey, it's not too bad to get kicked out of a store, especially when they just let you in the next day. So, you know, nothing too bad. I've always wanted to play Majora's Mask on the N64 original. I didn't want to play the 3DS remake, which I heard changes some things, how it feels. I mean, hell, the Ocarina of Time 3DS remake didn't really change anything, but I just like how the game feels to play better on the N64. I guess like that 20 FPS, that crunchy feel, I really, really like it. I beat The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time on the original N64 with a cartridge, the N64 controller, and that was a magical time. And it is also worth noting, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time is the only Zelda game I've beaten. This won't be the last time I mention Zelda, but I've always had that dream of Majora's Mask, and something always got in the way. Like I would buy a copy on eBay, like a cartridge on eBay for 40 bucks. The person would never give it to me. It would go to the wrong address. Like the N64, I sold an old N64 I had. I bought a new one that was Japanese only because a mate of mine told me that the Japanese N64 doesn't have region locking. Well, joke's on me, it does. It very much does, and the only way to break the region locking on the N64, the Japanese N64, which my Japanese N64 is pretty cool. It's like the transparent blue one, but I haven't played a single game on it because you have to kind of like break a part of the console to make like Japanese copies or American copies of your game work with the Japanese N64. Like it's very rudimentary the way they block like your cartridge. There's like just like a little cube, which the Japanese N64 has, where once you try to like insert this, there's like the cube there, it hits this part of the cartridge and it doesn't let it go in. While Japanese cartridges, they have like a little hole here and it just slots right in. So Nintendo, because like breaking the region locking in other consoles, like I don't know, let's say the PS3, even though the PS3 doesn't typically have region locking, the region locking on the PS3 is like for 5 games in total. I think like Persona 4 Arena is region locked for some reason, if my memory serves me correctly, but everything else you can import from Japan, Russia, I don't know, man, but you can play any of that on an American PS3. But usually the way you would break the region locking is just by hacking it or like installing something from some website. But I guess with these old consoles, the internet's not a concept. So all the region locking methods were purely physical. So I have to chop away at it and I'm very scared I'm just gonna break the whole console. So that is a purchase I regret, and I also regret selling my old N64. And I also regret selling my old Super Nintendo because I got back in like, I don't know, let's say 2012, if memory serves me correctly, I bought a Super Nintendo console for $20, which I look online, it's like $120 right now. So it's like, what? Are you kidding me right now? I want that back. Because, I sold it because I didn't have any good way to record footage off of it, but now I do. I have a great method of recording footage off the Super Nintendo, like native Super Nintendo footage. Are you kidding me? Well, I'll have to pay another $120 to get another big block of console to put like in my storage units, which are pretty full by now, so there's just no use to it. I mean, hey, Super Nintendo, I assume you can emulate pretty well, and a lot of those games got ported to modern consoles in a pretty decent way. If anyone wants to disagree with me, let me know down in the comments. And yeah, I guess that'll wrap it up for Majora's Mask. Whew. Let me actually go to my Nintendo DS games now, because I have some in like, their physical cases, but there's some games where I only have the cartridges because I can't find their case. So here is how I'm going to talk about Club Penguin. See, I don't know if you can actually see this, I'm just going to put it behind me, but I already beat this one, so this is actually breaking the rules, but I wanted to mention it in my backlog video because once you beat the game, I just kept playing it. You can like explore the world, keep doing the mini games, but there's a very empty feeling, because like Club Penguin, the original Club Penguin is an online game, so every time you go online, there's something new to see. It's also a seasonal game. There's seasonal events, so there's always something new to do in Club Penguin when you're playing the browser version. But in the DS game, once you beat the story, that's it. You just explored the lifeless husk of the Club Penguin town. You're like one of the only people there. You just go through the same motions of playing the minigames for no reason. There's no like post-game content. It was very like sobering, I don't know. It made me want to really go back to the web game because there was just like nothing to do after I beat Club Penguin on the DS. Club Penguin, Elite Penguin Force. I think it's important to mention that because there was like a second Club Penguin game which introduced like a lobster or something. I never played that one, but yeah, I played this one where you're a secret agent. When you're playing the web browser version, you have to like play the game for 50 days to even be allowed to become a secret agent. So you know, they just kind of like, they grab your time there. You really have to spend a lot of time on Club Penguin to become a secret agent. But here, 50 bucks. I mean, hey, who knows? I actually forget how much this game cost. I think part of the reason I got this game was because I saw a commercial for it. But all right, now that we're done with that, our next game is Transformers Revenge of the Fallen Autobots. And it's important to mention this is the Autobots version because this game came out in a dual package. Thank you, Pokemon. The other version of the game was called Decepticons. I never beat this one, but I played the hell out of it on my Nintendo DS. Like I remember, like I was like, what, 7, 8, 9? Like it was just crazy that I actually have like memories that go that far back playing this game. But why did I never beat it? What did I even get stuck on? I mean, I'm just curious to go back to this one and, you know, give it a go. I really need to hack my Nintendo 3DS. I'm told it's pretty easy. I was able to hack my PS Vita and able to record footage straight off of it. If there's like a similar thing I can do with my 3DS, I'd like to do that. But the one problem with my 3DS is that, unlike my PS Vita, it's not in good shape, which is weird because I've had my PS Vita, I think, for a longer period of time than my current 3DS because I had it like an original 3DS, the blue one, but I lost it in a taxi along with my 175-hour copy of Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. That was a sad day for me. But yeah, I lost that 3DS and I bought a new 3DS XL with the second stick and it was all nice and dandy. But the thing is just like, it's like old yellow. I gotta put it down somewhere. But when I put it down, I'd like to buy a new one. And I like to buy one that's like modified to allow a capture card, but the person who does that, I think there's only like 2 people in the entire world that do that sort of process, and I'm not even sure if they do that process anymore, so I think I'm out of luck with getting one of those 3DSs, and even if I wanted to get that 3DS, it would cost me around like $400, $500, $600, $700, so it's gonna be quite the investment, and I should probably make that investment when I actually wanna make 3DS content, you know what I mean? DS, 3DS, and hey, maybe in Game Boy Advance content, because once I hack that thing, I can put in any ROM I want, am I right? Whoosh! We're done with that game, and now we're gonna move on to Nintendogs. And like, I don't know if the camera's really picking up the quality here, but this is a fucked up copy of Nintendogs. I don't know who owned this, but like an actual dog got to bite on this for quite a long time. I don't even think you can beat Nintendogs per se, but I never played it to the point where it's like, yeah, I feel satisfied with my experience of the game. You know, that was a game I played a lot. Like, nah, I played this for like 2 hours, maybe 4 hours, and then I dropped it and I never picked it up again. But that's Nintendogs right there. Not much to say other than that was like a critical childhood junction point with the Nintendo DS. The Nintendo DS was probably like the first console I ever owned. I actually have a story that the first game I bought was Spider-Man 3 for the Nintendo DS, but when my parents found out that the game was teen rated, they took it away from me and I got something else. That's also how I lost my copy of The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. That was one of my distant relatives when they got me the Nintendo Wii, which was like my first home console I ever owned. They looked at The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, and they're like, nah, you can't have this, it was teen rated. And he just like threw it away, and I was stuck with Wii Sports. And as a child, I did not know how impactful that decision was, but now I'm like, that was a game I was supposed to have. It came with like every, like, you know, it came with like every copy of the Wii. It's kind of weird to say copy of the Wii, because you usually say copy when referring to like a video game, not a whole console, but it came with every Nintendo Wii. Why did you take it away? I mean, hey, I guess I wasn't ready for it. And you know, they didn't even comprehend that there was an issue. So now moving on, we have oh my goodness. Oh, that's not good. Oh, these cartridges should not be slammed to the ground. We have Lego Ninjago Battles. I did not buy this. This was not a game I bought. Somebody else in my close vicinity bought this, and I never played it. So I have no history with this, but I do have history with Lego Ninjago. Now, that was a show I watched on Cartoon Network as a child. It's kind of weird because now we're so used to streaming networks. I mean, hey, I'm used to streaming. I guess like as an adult, I've gotten used to knowing what I want to watch and searching it out. But back when I like would watch cable, you know, like Dish Cable or something, I guess I was just watching Cartoon Network and boom, I was watching Lego Ninjago. I was locked in for Lego Ninjago. I was locked in for Big Time Rush. That was not on Cartoon. Okay, was that on Cartoon Network or was that Nickelodeon? It kind of gets confusing, especially when Cartoon Network kind of went with its whole like no cartoons like era, where it's just like a bunch of live action shows, which as a child I was like, hell yeah, live action shows. And then I watched a bunch of YouTubers that said that like this was the Antichrist of like Cartoon Network's era. And I guess looking back, I guess it kind of was the Antichrist, but as a child I didn't care. I was like, yeah, build, destroy, build, destroy, build, destroy, the Wipeout. I mean, I was all in. Level Up, wait, no. Level Up was like a weird Nickelodeon thing. It was like this short, it was like a movie that there was a game for it on their website, but then there was also a series. I watched the series Level Up, I played a Roblox adaptation of that series, and I played Nickelodeon's game of it, and that was that? I don't know. I don't own Level Up right now. That was a web game, so yep, done with Lego Ninjago there. And now we have Beyblade, which I might have beaten this one, but also I'm not sure if there's really a big campaign to beat. I think my biggest sadness with this Beyblade game is that not only did I lose the Beyblade that this game came with, if you bought a copy of this game on the DS, it came with like Sora Pegasus, which is like this white and red like Beyblade from Beyblade Metal Fusion, and it looked sick as hell, and I don't have it anymore. Along with the 40 Beyblades I also don't have. The folks discarded them to people who were in need of them more than me, but now I'm like, I would like them back. But to get them back, I think I'm gonna have to spend like $500 or so across multiple markets. Though if I were to get all my Metal Fusion Beyblades back, I'd probably buy the Japanese versions because they tend to be a better build quality. Like, there was a Beyblade called like Capricorn, whose whole gimmick is that it jumps around. The American version of that thing never jumped around, but if you bought it from Japan, that shit would go flying all over the damn place, and it was fucking crazy. But this game, it was pretty fun as a child, but I don't really know how to play it as an adult. I've never invested that much time into it, but I'd like to return to it. If there's a way to no damage this, that'd be pretty sick. I also had a Nintendo Wii Beyblade Metal Fusion game, and I also want to get back to it. That's kind of weird. So like in English, it's called Beyblade Metal Fusion, but in Japanese, it was called Metal Fury. And then when the second season happened, I don't know what it was called in Japanese, but in English, it was called Metal Masters, and they got a whole new theme song, except the English theme song was just the exact same theme song, but now the guy, instead of saying Metal Fusion, he said Metal Masters, and it was kind of awkward. So that was that. I think I've talked enough about Beyblade. Let's move on here. Moving my cup of water outside of the frame instead of having it right next to me was without a doubt a mistake. But I'm going to keep going with that mistake with Super Mario 64 DS. Now, this is a game which I played extensively as a child, so believe me, it's not that I didn't want to beat this one from lack of trying, I just never did. I got stuck on multiple parts of the child. And even playing it now, I'm still stuck on certain areas. Like, you know, in all these years, I still don't know how to beat this one, and I get disinterested, and I just kind of drop it. But I want to return to this one, because this is a game I want to beat. Though now, as an adult, I am much more aware of how much clunkier this one feels to control than the original. Like, you know, back when, like, I don't know, YouTube reviewers would say, oh, you only have 8 directions to move in because of the D-pad. I'm like, who cares? But now I can really feel the difference. Like, this game just doesn't feel great to jump around in, but man, does it look nice, and it has charm. And those mini-games, the mini-games that this came with, dude, they're awesome. And like the way, like just the DS's gimmicks were so cool. Like the download play where you could get multiple people to play the same game without everyone owning the game. That was so cool. That like did wonders for Mario Kart, Mario Party. You know, there's a lot of games which I don't have anymore that I want them back. For multiple reasons, I've lost multiple games. Like I used to have a copy of Super Mario, like Mario Party DS. That Mario Party DS game is awesome. I want it back. Ah, dude, that game is awesome. I want it back. I want it back. That game actually has a campaign, like a real honest-to-goodness campaign. But that's enough of that. And that covers all my Nintendo DS games, which I don't have cases for. And speaking of cases, I got a funky little story with this one. SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. I bought this recently because it was like a double feature. Here, I actually have the double. Let me just skip ahead to the double feature. Bam, bam. So I have a PS2 copy of SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom, and I have this PS4 copy of SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom, but the remake. And the reason I bought these two copies Despite owning, let me see if I can actually find it right now. Oh, it's not there. It's not here either. Oh goodness, where is it? Where is SpongeBob? Where is my boy? Might actually be here and I just like passed it by. Oh, where's my boy? Oh, there it is. Okay, you know why I didn't notice it? Because it was too green. The back of the cover was too green. Despite owning a GameCube copy of SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom, I bought this PS2 and PS4 copy as a gift. A white elephant gift on Christmas. I played a little ruse where I would give the person, the recipient to the white elephant gift, a PS2 copy, and they'll go, hey, wait a minute, I don't have a PS2. But then they would open the case to find the PS4 copy in there the whole time, allowing them to play the remake and the original. But the person who received my white elephant gift was not very happy. And you might be wondering, Mr. I'm on the edge of my seat, what is the white elephant game? I have never played that in my life. I've never seen a white elephant. I would notice it. It would be too white. Well, it's sort of like a Christmas game, kind of like Secret Santa, except so you get a gift, you wrap it up so that it's all secretive, and you put it in a pile. And then we all take turns, and the person who goes first gets a gift. They open it, and then everyone sees what gift they get, and the game goes on. You know, like you have the second person goes, the third person goes. However, when the second person goes, they can either get a gift from the pile, or they can steal the gift the first person got. So now you need to plan things out. Positioning matters, choosing matters, and even like the type of wrapping you get matters because you're playing a psychological game. So there's an element of humor in there. So if you get stuck with a gift that sucks ass, then you're kind of screwed because nobody's gonna steal it from you. Because once somebody steals a gift from you, then you pretty much get put back to the game to choose a new gift from the pile or to steal from somebody else. And it's a really fun game, but sadly, I kind of put people in a stalemate here because nobody wanted a PS2 copy of SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom or a PS4 copy. I mean, I would assume most people own a PS4 or a PS5 with a disc drive. Okay, that's not even true. Most people probably have a PS5 without a disc drive, which, you know, back in the day where, you know, I say back in the day, this was like what? Like 3 years ago? Not even. I mean, Lost Judgment came out in 2021, like 4 or 5 years ago. It's been a minute with the PS5, hasn't it? It still feels like it came out yesterday because it feels like we have a yesterday amount of exclusive games. But yeah, like, you know, there's times where like you had to pay an extreme price to get a PS5 because it was out of stock everywhere. And the way I got my own PS5 was that I went to a Best Buy at 3 in the morning and stood in a line until like 8 or 9 in the morning. I brought a camping chair, don't worry. And that's how I got my PS5 with a disc drive. But there was very much a possibility that the PS5 with the disc drive might have actually been sold out by the time I got there because I was in place 50 in the line. So there was like a mathematical chance that I would have been screwed. You know what I mean? Well, but SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom is a game which I've only beaten like the first level and I haven't beaten any other level. And I want to go back to it because everything I've played from it was really, really fun. But I'm probably going to do it on the GameCube version. Honestly, I kind of want to sell this PS2 copy. I got no need for it. And well, for the remake, I mean, the remake's a great way to bring it back. But since I have the original, I kind of want to no damage the original. No damage is a weird way to say it, but just beat it in general. I haven't even beaten it yet. I like to play more of these 3D collectathons because this is kind of like a hidden gem of a 3D collectathon. It was, yeah. So now that we're done with those games, where do we go from here? How about brutalation and murder? Is brutalation even a word? I don't even know if it's a word, but we have The Last of Us Part 2, a very controversial game, and it's a game which comes with 2 discs. 2 discs that are not inside the case right now. Because back when I was like in Chicago, sometimes I wouldn't take my cases with me. I would put them into like a little like disc holder and I would hold like 50 games with like one disc holder that's like half the size of this. So, you know, it saves up on luggage quite a bit, but I like to hold on to my case. I mean, hey, it's a collector's item. I say collector's, what does this cost, like $20? Especially with like the remaster, I assume this has gone down in price. You know what trips me out about the remasters of these games? I mean, they're remakes, right? they're like brand new graphics, a brand new engine, but the games still play exactly the same. What they did with these were fucking weird because there was basically zero reason to do a remake. Like, I guess it kind of pisses me off with the remakes of The Last of Us Part 1 and 2 because they're basically the exact same game with very little differences. But, oh, it's actually good that they remake them because they added a lot of accessibility features. But I'm just kind of thinking, why didn't you just add those as, like, post-game DLC for the originals? No, you just had to, like, you know, put them in, like, a more expensive copy of the game when you're porting the games over to PC and the PS5 and whatnot. You don't even need to port it to the PS5. Because they're backwards compatible. They're backwards compatible, and hell, the PS5 also had like upgrades for certain versions of certain PS4 games. Like, isn't there a way that this runs at 60 FPS if you play it on the PS5 or on the PS4 Pro? There was like something weird about that, so it kind of trips me out. It's like, so I'm pretty sure I can play this at 60 FPS. Why do I need a new remaster to play it at 60 FPS again? I don't know. I've beaten the first Last of Us and I enjoyed it. Not as much as Resident Evil 4, which is a bit of a weird comparison, but they're both survival horror games where, like, you know, your ammo matters, and when you play on the hardest difficulty, you really have to like conserve your ammo, and the combat's fun, but the combat was more fun in Resident Evil 4, so on and so forth. I mean, you know, stiff competition, but I had my fun with it. So I have been excited to play this one eventually, but I just never got around to it. But one day I might no damage this one. I mean, I want to no damage the first game first. I'd be no damaging the PS4 remaster, which even some people would say that one is pointless. But you know, that's how I was able to play it, because back in the day I did not have a PS3, so I had no way of playing the original Last of Us. Which, on the PS3, that game was 720p to achieve its like amazing graphics. Though on the PS4, I got to run at 60 FPS and be at 1080p. But if you enter the menu, you can like make the game run at 30 FPS to get that original FPS. So not every remaster does that, so I appreciate that. Well, we're done with The Last of Us. That's the last of that. And now we have Donkey Kong Country Returns. And in the current day, I'm not sure if I should really be playing the Wii version, because I'm hearing that the Switch 2 took the Switch version of this game and actually like improved it to the point that it basically runs the much better than this and looks just as good. Because originally on the Switch 1, there was like issues with the port of Donkey Kong Country Returns. Like the load times were worse than the Wii version. Like some graphical effects were not as good. It was a very strange situation, but I might as well just play the original because the original pretty much has no issues, no hiccups, and I can just pick it up and go. And hey, I got to play with the Wiimote. Some people don't like the Wiimote, but I'm a big fan of it. I'm very nostalgic towards it. Though I think with time, I'm probably gonna hate it more as my hands become more adult hands. Like I'm gonna get more cramps like playing it in that style, because like the Wiimote just doesn't seem to be made for playing in handheld style. Not much more to say with this one, but the little I've played is freaking sweet. I mean, retro games, I need to play more of their games. You know what? You know what's a game which I regret selling? Metroid Prime on the GameCube. Because like I want to get back to it, I want to play that one. Though now we have the remaster on Switch 1. Though the version of Metroid Prime that I really want is the Nintendo Wii Trilogy, which pretty much like changed all the controls of like 1 and 2 to be like the Wii version to match like Metroid Prime 3. And the little I've played of Metroid Prime 3, dude, okay. I used to have a copy of Metroid Prime 3. I don't have it in my collection. I don't know where it went. But that is a game which I want back. Did I sell it because I wanted to get the trilogy, which would just give me Metroid Prime 3? But the trilogy, I don't know, I haven't checked online in a while, but last time I checked online, that thing was like $120. But I think I'll just end on that note for Donkey Kong Country Returns. Oh, okay, I threw it way too far, giving me the excuse to get my cup of water. And with my portable mic, I can be right here, and it won't matter because the mic is just on me right now. Get my cup of water, get my thing here, and okay. This will take me quite a while. Let me check my watch. I don't have my watch. So here, this is a game which I have not beaten. I would describe this game, are you smarter than a 5th grader? Make the grade for the Nintendo PS2. This is a game that's beaten me. I don't know, but I haven't done the single player. I haven't done many of the modes. I've only really played this in multiplayer as a gag with my mates, and I've had a fun time with it. And you can play with 4 players, and you won't need 4 controllers because, you know, it's a game that takes turns, you know. You take turns doing all the quizzes that a typical 5th grader would take, and you would use the same controller for it. But if you really wanted to, you could use multiple controllers for multiple people. but you can also share the controllers. So that was fun, but let me tell you, I've emulated this game, and when I was emulating it on my laptop, it chugged like hell. It was terrifying. It was like, are you smarter than a 5th grader creepypasta? And it's, oh man, it was fun. It was really fun, but now I have a PS2 and I just play it natively and it runs fine and it's not as funny anymore, but the game's still pretty funny to just kind of throw on. And sometimes I'm like, damn, I should know some of these questions. It's kind of bad I don't. So yeah, moving on from there, I'm gonna take a sip of water. I'm also going to check my telephone, which is of the orange color variety. I'm just going to see if there's any pressing news on the matter. There is no pressing news, thank you very much. Now here's a game that was introduced to me by a YouTuber, BCV, Battle Construction Vehicles. This is a Europe exclusive game. You can tell by the blue cover. You can tell by the age rating. It's not the ESRB, it's 7+. So because the PS2 has region lock, you actually can't play this. I can't play this on the PS2 I have right now unless I break the region locking on that PS2. I mean, hey, the PS2 is defunct. I might as well like hack it, but I don't know how. I'm gonna have to look into it, and when I look into it, I hope it's not too complicated, but I'd like to play this natively because when I tried emulating it off the disc, it ran terribly and it crashed multiple times. Hey, this even comes with a manual. Hell yeah, over 30 PlayStation games. Isn't that great? Oh wait, this manual's kind of lame. Like sometimes you get an awesome manual and sometimes you get a manual that's just words in black and white and it's like, oh, at least you get this little painted cover. So that's fun. So this is a game which I learned about from the gaming bro. Oh my goodness. Oh, that was a level of vulgarity I did not want to start my pilot episode off with. Though start's kind of a funny way of saying, how long has it been? Like 30 minutes, 40 minutes? And I've been yapping. I've barely like destroyed this pile. So I guess this is going to be a really good episode for the podcast because, you know, a podcast you would assume would go on for multiple hours. And I did want a video that goes on for multiple hours. I'm actually worried that my camera is going to turn itself off or like overheat before I'm done talking, which is gonna make me really sad. But yeah, Battle Country Construction Vehicles, it's an anime game. It's got English voice acting and the Gaming Brit made a funny video on it. And when I was in Europe, I found this in a game store and I picked it up. And I don't regret my decision because hey, it could still, hey, I picked it up for like 9 quid. So hey, that wraps up that, and now I'm going to actually check my camera that it didn't turn itself off or die while I was recording this. And hey, I've been going for 42 minutes and 42 seconds. Okay, look at that. Wow, and I've barely scratched the surface of my pile. Hey, it is 70 games. Here, just to speed things up, I'm gonna tackle trilogies. Not just one game, but 3 games all in one here. We got Jak and Daxter 1, we got Jak and Daxter 2, and Jak and Daxter 3. Now, back in Chicago, I had a retro game store, like on the Red Line Belmont stop. I think it was called Game Exchange. I don't know if it's still there anymore. Back when I was there, I was taking photos of the area, and then this guy like stepped out of his car and like stepped right up to me, and I thought he was going to stab me. But thankfully he didn't. He did like ask in a somewhat angry tone to check my photos, and I showed him my photos and I told him I would delete them. And then he was like, oh, that's fine. And then he went back to his car. So that was a horrifying moment, but that was not the time I bought Jak and Daxter, so I don't know why I brought it up. I didn't buy anything that day, but the day I bought the entire trilogy of Jak and Daxter, I didn't even buy it at that store. I bought it at a store called Reckless Records, which is like a record store, but unlike, despite their name, they actually have retro video games available as well. So they have records, they have movies, and they have video games. So I would stop in there to see what retro game they have. And one day they had the trilogy of Jak and Daxter, which is a classic series of 3D platformers, which, well, with the second game, they kind of kind of started dipping their toes in like more shooter style. And hey, it's the same company that made The Last of Us, which I was just talking about, but I've barely played the first one. I haven't touched any of the second or third. But one day I do want to go through this classic trilogy because it's a classic series of games. And I heard the HD collection on the PS3 kind of messed up the visual effects, so I'm just glad to have it in its original format and to have a way of actually playing it in its original native format and record good footage off of it. So yep, that covers the Jak and Daxter games. I mean, hey, you can't outdo a stabbing story, but you can talk about a duology of games, the Infamous games. So Infamous always kind of pissed me off because it was PS3 exclusive, and when the PS4 came out, the only version of Infamous you could play was Second Son, which reviewers like kept slamming that game. Whether Second Son deserves to get slammed, whether it's actually a good or bad game, I have no idea, but reviewers just seem lukewarm on it compared to the original first 2 games. So it's always like, damn, well, how good are these first 2 games? Well, I wouldn't know because I haven't played them, despite buying it right now for $13. Hey, that's a good deal. $13 for 2 games? I mean, you don't see that often. But I guess because the PS3 is kind of an old console like nobody wants right now, give it 10 or 20 years, it'll probably like, the price will probably like jank up like real quick. Maybe like if this game gets a remaster or so, the price will go down again. But Infamous is a game which always looked awesome. I always wanted to play it. I never got around to playing it, but I am capable of doing it, but I haven't done it yet. And it's like, dude, the guy freaking, he shoots lightning out of his hands. Why wouldn't you want to play that game? Well, I do, one day. And if it's possible to no damage it, I gotta do it. But they're both open world games, so how that would work, I don't know. There'd probably be a lot of time wasting, or it'd just be way too long of a video. But yeah, moving on from Infamous, we have Splatoon. This game, just like Lego Ninjago, I didn't buy it. Somebody else bought this game and I never played it. So I don't have many memories with this, though I know that the cultural legacy of basically the only E10 like PvP shooter that anyone actually played still went on with the second and third game, but I never actually played it. So I mean, playing the first one also is kind of redundant because the second one exists, except the second one, playing that one's also redundant because the third one exists, except playing the third one is also redundant because I think they shut down the servers or the game just isn't being supported anymore. And the single player campaigns of these games I do not hear the best things about. I did hear the second game kind of had a decent one, and the third game had a better one, and the first game has a nothing one. But yeah, I guess I could no damage the single player for like shits and giggles, but people really remember the multiplayer of these games, which I never touched. So that wraps up Splatoon. You're a kid, you're a squid. I remember the commercial. And now I have a game which was gifted to me by either a distant relative or a friend of a distant relative, but sadly, this distant relative did not watch enough Normal Boots players in their time. They did not watch Peanut Butter Gamers videos. They did not watch JonTron's videos. They did not watch The Completionists, because if they watched those content creators, they would know that Escape from Bug Island is one of the most critically reviled games in the history of the entire medium. And what I mean by that is that I think either Peanut Butter Gamer, JonTron, or The Completionist made a video on it one time and called it bad. So there's that. So Escape from Bug Island, I know that it's not a very good game. It's a one-player game, it's horror. You have to escape from the Bug Island. I think there's QuickTime events or something. But I own it physically. I have a manual for the game. Hey, let's see if this is a fun manual. Okay, it's kind of fun. It's in black and white, but there's like actual drawings and like, you know, iconography. And you can't really see anything from like this far away, but it's a fun manual. But it's a crappy game. Maybe one day I'll no damage it. Maybe I'll have fun. Maybe I won't. Maybe it'll be a hidden gem. But not too much to say about this one. Don't have much experience. Now, if we're going to continue talking about games which YouTubers told me to play, we got to talk about Zack and Wiki, which I would have never learned about this game if I didn't watch like a random countdown player. See, like there's like countdown people, like I think Josh Scorcher, the Arctark of Flame. It was like a weird word. That guy's now like a voice actor. He just does a bunch of fan dubs of like the Amazing Digital Circus, the teeth creature. He goes by a different name now. I think he's called Alex. But they used to make videos back in the day where like top 10 saddest video game endings, top 10 Wii games, top 10 underrated games. And one of the games mentioned by one of these folks is Zack and Wiki, which I've only played like 30 minutes of it when I was like 13 or something. I gotta get back to this one. It's like a point and click adventure game. It's cel shaded. It's very, very charming. The graphics are very good. It is for one player. You don't even need a nunchuck. It's not even E10. It's a game for everyone. All it has is cartoon violence. It's basically the Looney Tunes. It is made by Capcom. I don't know what team kind of helmed this game, but it seems to be a bit of a hidden classic, and I gotta give it a go one of these days, because I do own it. Boom. Whew, boy. Epic Mickey. Epic Mickey is a game which I saw a lot of commercials for and I was really hyped about. And like the 2 to 3 hours I played of it were awesome. I love the tone. I love the gimmick. You know, erasing things with paint, making things with paint. But I didn't get past the tutorial area in this game. I never got to the main hub. which is weird because I did put a lot of time into this one, but like I didn't do fucking anything in this, dude. So it's like, what's even the point? There's even a remaster now, so I don't have to play the original, but I own the original, so I would like to play it. This game doesn't seem to have the best reputation though, because a lot of the time when people talk about this one, they're like, wow, this is less edgy than Kingdom Hearts. I mean, it's also not as good as Kingdom Hearts, but Kingdom Hearts is a series of games that I've actually beaten, so you're not going to see it in this first pilot episode. But that'll do for Epic Mickey. I'd like to go back to it. It's a fun time to spend a vacation in Mario Sunshine. Now, this game is also very divisive. Some people are like, this game is awesome. Some people are like, this game is shit. Some people will go as far as to say, this game is dog shit. But it's just weird, because it's a Mario game, you know, it's like their main franchise. How could it be dog shit? You know, there has to be like quality control on this one. Certainly it can't be as bad as Escape from Bug Island, you know, like that. It's not shovelware, is it? Well, I never beat it. I think I got to like the 4th world and I was lost, and every time I pick it up, I keep getting lost. I don't know how to get like the final stars to like move on to like the final levels. It always confuses me. These Mario games made for babies. So, you know, I gotta stop being a baby and beat this one eventually. We're gonna run into some redundancies as this video goes along, so I'll let you know when that happens. And now, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle Royale 3D. I can't read any of this. Actually, I can. See, the JoJo part, the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is in Japanese, but the All-Star Battle is in pure English, so I have no excuse to not say it. Now, I bought a Japanese copy of this because an English copy on eBay costs around $50, $60, and I saw that a Japanese copy cost like $5. I'm like, all right, freaking sweet. You know, I'll just get the cheaper version, but when I played like 30 minutes of this, I realized all of the charm in playing this has to do with being able to actually understanding what the characters are saying. And I don't understand a fucking thing coming out of these people's mouths because it's all written in Japanese and said in Japanese. And I basically wasted my time here, and I should have gotten an English copy despite the higher price. Because it's the exact same game, except one, I actually understand all the personality of the game, while here, I can barely even read the menus on how to like play the game. So, bit of a weird oddity, and I can't sell it for much. I mean, I can sell it for like $2 because I bought it for $5. So there's that. Bye-bye, JoJo. This is a weird one because I think I might have already beaten this, but I haven't unlocked everything in Mario Kart Double Dash. This is a game which my cousin kept saying is the bomb because it's basically like the Mario Kart that he grew up with. With Mario Kart, it's kind of weird to be objective about it. Basically, like the first one you play is the best one. So there's people who will be like, Mario Kart DS is the best one. Mario Kart Wii is the best one. Now, me personally, I'm going to say Mario Kart Wii is the best one. That's my favorite, though. I'm kind of inclined to say that Mario Kart 8 is the best one on the Switch because I spent a lot of time with the Switch version. I mean, we started with the Wii U version, but then the Switch version had the battle modes and it just kind of kept going the countless hours of playing it. But Mario Kart Wii is the one that I'm most nostalgic for. It's the one where, like, you know, I put it in, I hear those noises, like that soundtrack, that UI, like beeps and boops. That's the one that excites me. That's the one from my childhood. Even though I think I played Mario Kart DS first, but hey, I guess we had more swag, let's just say that. This one's actually kind of hard to get used to because, for one, the whole gimmick is just like, how can I screw over the second person? Because they don't even control a cart. You're like, you're the item bitch. You know, you throw the items. The gimmick's not that fun. I mean, if you're playing in single player, the gimmick's fun because you get to have some really fun combination of, like, you know, different people have different weight classes, different people have different items. So you get to play around with that. Now that's fun. But in terms of the 1-2 playing the game sort of thing, it's just like, you know, how can two people not play the game? That's the whole gimmick with Double Dash. And the drifting is very different from the way basically every other Mario Kart does it. So it took a little bit of getting used to, but it is a very fun game. It has a fun visual style. And I gotta get back to this one and actually beat it sometime. The battle mode is also very fun, though somewhat limited, but the way you can just throw bombs all over the place and like just it feels a lot more hectic than the one on the Nintendo Wii. The Nintendo Wii had a lot more stages, though a lot of those stages were just ripping off stages from the previous games. It gets weird out here. Let's play a mature game now, all right? Resident Evil 0. I've played the Resident Evil remake on the GameCube and I couldn't beat it. So I beat the version on Steam and I did a no damage of it. But I no damaged the bad ending, so honestly I gotta redo that Resident Evil remake video one of these days. But Resident Evil 0, Haven't even touched this one. It's on a train. People seem to be pretty negative on this one, which is kind of weird because, you know, people, when they talk about Resident Evil Remake, they're like, this is one of the greatest games of all time. It reintroduced survival horror in that genre, in that generation, and it stands as a testament to what the video game genre, video games are not a genre, what the video game medium can do. And then they talk about this one and they're like, this game is pretty mid, it's okay. It might even be bad and kind of suck, you shouldn't play it. It's kind of like, yo, it came out around the same time, you know, what happened? Such a difference in how regarded, like how well regarded these games are. But I beat one, I haven't beaten the other, but one day, I like to give this one a go. I mean, hey, it is called Resident Evil 0, not Resident Evil greatest game of all time. It's already starting from 0, so. Oh boy, I should introduce a commercial break here or something. Wow, I really gave myself an ambitious goal, but you know, ambition is what I gotta shoot for with these pilots. You know, if I wanna take it easy on the 60th episode, when you can jump the shark and jumping the shark, let me explain that reference. Because a lot of people tend to throw that term out, but some people might not even know what it even means. And honestly, I don't have a full comprehension of it, but basically there was a sitcom called Happy Days, which had this character called Fonzie, and Fonzie's a cool guy. Well, I'm back. So yeah, despite the red glowing light on my mic here, I never saw it. So it's a good thing that this sort of mic comes with two little thingies. In fact, you can use the two little thingies at the exact same time. You can do a couple tricks with that, but I opened this box today to make this first pilot video, but this pilot video is gonna be done in 2 takes. Hey, maybe 3. But hey, I mean, I guess not too many takes, but I was explaining what jumping the shark means. So Happy Days, there's a guy called Fonzie. Fonzie's a cool guy. Happy Days was a sitcom, and sometimes it was very grounded apparently, and like dealt with societal issues, and it was a funny thing, and everybody loved it, and everybody loved Fonzie. But some point, very late into the show, they wrote an episode where Fonzie jet skis over a shark, and everyone was like, wow, that was fucking stupid. Because it's like, the show used to be grounded, now he's doing jumps over sharks, like, that's so ridiculous and out of tone with the rest of the series. It's not interesting to see. It's just like random. It's like non-topical, but like nearly anachronistic. You know, that's another buzzword I'm just kind of throwing out here. Is anachronistic the right detail? Because my understanding of the word anachronistic is if you're doing like a period piece, you know, set in a certain period, and there's a detail that doesn't correlate to that period, like it's say you're doing Game of Thrones. It's a medieval fantasy show. If you see a Starbucks cup in there, that's anachronistic. That doesn't make any sense. Or if, you know, you're doing like a record drop, a musical drop, if you're putting a song in a movie and it doesn't correlate to the period the movie set in, I'd say that's maybe anachronistic. But I also might not know what anachronistic actually means. So that's what jumping the shark means. And here is Deadpool for the PS4, but really this is a PS3 game. But it's not a PS3 exclusive. It was available for the Xbox 360 and PC as well. But the reason I bought a PS4 copy was, well, for one, I hope it would run better, but the reason I wanted to buy this game is because it was apparently getting delisted from the Steam storefronts and from everywhere else because the company that made this game couldn't pay the license for Deadpool anymore, as these things usually go. So it's like, oh fuck, is this game gonna become rare? I need to go to my nearest retro game store and buy myself a copy right now. And I got this for 69 bucks. And then I found out there was no reason to do it because the game did not go up in price like at all. In fact, online there were cheaper copies of the PS4 version. And the PS4 version was the only version that's expensive because PS3 copies were like 10 bucks. But you know, I wanted to play the one with the best frame rate, which is probably this. And then I played like 5 minutes of it, and I was like, wow, this combat feels like shit. You know, I mean, maybe spending a bit more time with the game, all my thoughts will change, but this game doesn't feel very good to play from the first 5 minutes. So whoop-de-daisy. Wee woo. I feel kind of bad about that slam there. During the break, I gave myself some food. I think the food will kind of power me into talking about all these games that I haven't beaten. For example, Just Dance 4 for the Wii U. I think my cousin bought this game and it's just here in my possession now forever, and I've never played it. I don't have the original case. I've never put this disc inside of my Wii U. The only times I've played Just Dance was my friends would look up YouTube videos, put it on the screen, and we would copy the moves, but we weren't actually playing the game. We would just watch a YouTube video and copy the moves. And I guess just score ourselves from our own criteria. I guess we had an impartial judge on the side, but we never actually played Just Dance. You know what game I did play? I think it was called like Dance Central. It was like the Kinect exclusive like dance game. I played the second one. So I had that. And I used to own the Star Wars Kinect game, but I sold all my Kinect games and I sold my Kinect, and I regret it deeply because they would make the funniest no damage videos. Like, those games sucked, but man, I should have not listened to popular consensus and sold my thing. I should have bought it back because I want a no damage Sonic Free Riders. You know what I mean? I'll see if I stay that chipper once I start actually playing that game. But man, I miss my Kinect dearly. Because it came with the Xbox 360 was like the first mature console I had, because like the Nintendo Wii had the stigma of being for little babies, but the Xbox 360, you know, made me the cool kid with the rest of my gang in school. So, you know, I played the Call of Duties, I played the Tron Evolution Legacies, I played Batman Arkham City, you know? Those were fun times. And I played Minecraft for the Xbox 360, which is, my introduction to Minecraft was very strange. Like, I bought a free copy of it on the PC, I had fun with that. But then when the version for the 360 came out, oh man, I was playing it with all my friends. And by all my friends, I of course mean with 4 people in one world, because if you got any more than that, the game would crash. And I think it was impossible. And even when you were playing with only 4 people, the game would still crash. And let me jump around here. Let me switch the timeline on you. Dun, 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 dun. No, nope, 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 nope. None of these. None of these. My goodness, don't waste my time here. It's gotta be one of these, but it's none of these. Urgh! Is it one of these? No, it isn't. Where's that game? Because it's none of these. Oh. Did I talk about Soul Calibur 2? Because it's here. And I never beat it. I only played 2 to 3 levels, but I feel like I've already talked about it. Like, I've been throwing all the games I've talked about already into a pile here, but my neat piles here are the games I still need to talk about, but the games that I threw over there are actually getting very close to the games I did not throw, so it's getting kind of hard to tell the difference. So I'm not sure if I've already talked about Soul Calibur 2, or if the thoughts I've had about this game have been sitting in my mind for long enough that I think I've already projected them to the camera here. But yeah, I got the GameCube version because Link's a playable character. Even though the version on the Xbox, the original Xbox, I think runs at 720p and might be the best version of the game. But I don't own an original Xbox, so I can't really, like, you know, enjoy the fruits of that 720p labor. I know Soul Calibur 3, I know for sure, runs at 720p on the original Xbox, which is just kind of weird when these old consoles have like modern features. Because it's like, Gran Turismo 4 on the PS2 can run at 1080p. What? How? How does that happen? You have to get like a certain cable, a certain PS2, a certain copy of Gran Turismo 4? Ah, man. But yeah, Soul Calibur 2, those 3 hours I played of it are very fun, but I have no idea. I didn't do any of the campaign. I didn't no damage anything, but yeah, one day I ought to. So now that we're done with that, I'm gonna get back to my hunt for the thing I want to skip to. Dang, where is it? It's not this, 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 it's not this. Okay, is it here? But there's a bunch of Wii games. It can't be here. And it's not. Okay, I could have sworn I got the game, which I was thinking about. Did I leave it inside of... I did. Because there's other games which I didn't take out because I already beat them. And I guess I already beat Minecraft. But, you know, I really didn't, so let's pull it out. Okay, where's Minecraft? Minecraft. Here we go. There we go. Feast your eyes upon this. Alright. Minecraft PS4 edition. I didn't buy this. Somebody else bought this, but sometimes I put it on the PS4 and played split screen with some mates, and we didn't really do much of anything. My experiences with Minecraft have been solely on the PC and on the Xbox 360 in its heyday, and I had a lot of fun with my friends, but man, the draw distance of the Xbox 360 Minecraft worlds was nothing. Like, you would go to the edge of the map and the game would be like, oh, this is it. This is all the world you're gonna get. It was so limited. But man, just playing on the Xbox 360 with my mates, that was something else, man. But yeah, no, I have no childhood experiences with the PS4 version aside from like playing split screen like once or twice for like shits and giggles. So that's that. Now, here's a bit of nostalgia. Iconic Vine Star Chibiki told me to hop on Parasite Eve and no damage it one of these days. And I always said, no, I'm not gonna do it because I need a PS1 copy. But now I have a PS1 copy. I streamed it and I realized I needed a PS1 memory card to actually save in this game. And now I have a PS1 memory card and I haven't returned to it, but I need to no damage this game sometime. I don't want to say this year because I'm capable of not doing it this year, but I need to do it. I need to do it for iconic Vine Star Chibiki before his fame goes away and he fades like the dragon. So, all right, put that down gently. Personal training walking. I never played this. Somebody gave me this game. Somebody did not give me the device that the game comes with, but somebody gave me this game. And I have it, and now I'm like, I don't need it. You know, I regret losing my copy of Pokemon Platinum. Because it's like, what the hell? That's Pokemon Platinum. I should have it. Why do I not have it anymore? Like, I lost it. It's in the ether somewhere. But I still have my copy of Monsters vs. Aliens on Nintendo DS. And I very much have very vivid memories that this game is fucking terrible. This game sucks ass, man. I replayed it recently. I didn't beat it. It's still unbeaten, but man, this game fucking sucks, all right? You know what I remember about Monsters vs. Aliens? That I was all in on the promotion, all right? The Kid Cuisine, the microwave meals, they were doing promotions. I played their online game for Monsters vs. Aliens. I saw Monsters vs. Aliens in theaters like 2 times, and hey, wait a minute, this is a video about video games. The video about movies is gonna be the next one. Okay, I should probably stop talking about this one. Just know, if you're gonna play the Monsters vs. Aliens video game, don't get the DS one. The DS one is fucking terrible. The Xbox 360 version is probably alright. You should probably hop on that. And here's another one. Personal trainer math, nothing. I know nothing about this. I have no experience. I have no story to share. So this one is just here just for the record that, hey, I have this in my collection, but how it got here, nobody knows. Now, Pokemon X. Now, this is a story. I got a story with this one because this was very much a childhood classic. And it was like the start of high school. All my friends were getting 3DSs. All my friends were getting a copy of this Pokemon game. And then I never beat it. I think I put like 8 or 12 hours into it. And then I abandoned it for years. And then when I hopped on it again, I'm like, okay, I should probably delete everything I have and start over. But then I'm never interested enough to actually go all the way into beating this game. Like all the grinding and all the Pokemoning, I'm like, I don't care. And you know, now I'm like, oh, I haven't beaten this one. I should probably beat this one day, you know? I should probably do it, and then I never do it. So, out of all the Pokemon games I've beaten, Pokemon Black was the first Pokemon game I ever played, and it was awesome. Had a big fun time with that. I beat Platinum, I beat Black. I think that's it. Because, I mean, I've played Fire Red, and I didn't beat it. I've played this one, and I never beat it. I put like 200 hours into Pokemon Black, and that's that. I got to a point where I was just in the post game, and there was nothing to do, and I just kept refighting the same trainers over and over in the stadium, and I'm like, yeah, I'm doing that. I'm leveling up some Pokemon. I'm just doing that. I didn't even collect all the Pokemon. I collected a lot of them. I used the strategy guide to find a lot of the hidden ones, like the Sun one and like the muscular dudes. Oh, and I also did the event with the Victory Pokemon. I did that special event. That was a very memorable time. I like doing that. Pokemon Black is freaking sweet. That's pretty much my childhood favorite. I don't think any Pokemon game can really beat Pokemon Black. Like just the sprite work in that too. Just looking back, it looks so nice. It looks so nice. And now we get to swing around to Majora's Mask 3D, which, well, it apparently changes up some of the boss fights to be like a little bit lamer. The graphics don't exactly match the exact vibe from the original, and it doesn't control as well, even though it does feel smoother, but it lacks kind of the crunching combat and the swimming animations. And I did take that from some YouTube videos, and I took some of that from my time playing the game. So yeah, I mean, it's not like this one's bad. I mean, like the YouTube video said it was bad, but I haven't played it, so I need to form my own opinion on that. But I want to play both versions, but I do want to hop on the Nintendo 64 version first, and then play it on the 3DS here, despite all the improvements with the time management and whatnot. And now here, Killzone 2. Now this is a game which I guess I have more of an appreciation of like in the modern day, just from all the videos I've seen analyzing it. Not so much analyzing the story, but the graphics. I mean, it's kind of weird to say, dude, the graphics are crazy, you gotta hop on that. It's kind of like a point of ridicule. If the only positive thing you have to say about a game is the graphics, then the game is probably not very good. But like, the graphical style of Killzone 2, from all the videos I've seen of it, just looks sick. Like if I can do a no damage video of this, and record it in like a nice quality, that's gonna be such a cool looking video. Like just all the blurring effects and the way the guns look and just like the color grading. This game, like just from what I've seen, just looks really, really good. And it does look like the gunplay is really satisfying. So I want to beat this one of these days. The only Killzone game that I've played is like Killzone Shadowfall, because it was the only one that was on the PS4. That was a PS4 launch title, and it was the first game I got for the system, and it was all right. I guess I kind of liked it at the time. I might actually like it again if I play it again, but wait, do I have a copy of it? It'd be weird to lose my copy of Killzone Shadowfall, but I think I gave it to a friend, and that friend hasn't given it back. And it's the same thing with like my trilogy of Uncharted games. I need to get that back. I might have actually sold it because I was like, oh, this is like underwhelming, but now I'm like, I kind of want it for preservation purposes, or just to give it a go again. I remember that the graphics of Killzone Shadowfall were really impressive at the time, but I played them on a really bad PC, so not bad PC, on a bad screen. So honestly, I didn't even like fully appreciate. I had a very tiny screen when I was first playing my PS4. But yeah, that wraps it up for Killzone. And now we have Call of Duty Black Ops 3. I don't have much of a story with this one. This is actually like when I stopped playing Call of Duty games as a child. Like once Ghost came out, I played that, and then I never bought another Call of Duty game again. So this must have come out after Ghost, because I basically have like no childhood memories with this. All my childhood memories, I guess, like started with like Black Ops, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 2. I never even bought Black Ops 2. I just played it at a friend's house. We just ran the zombies mode like all the time, and sometimes multiplayer, and that was a fun time. But beyond that, no childhood memories. But I did want to hop on this one because I heard some of the zombie maps are kind of cool. And maybe the campaign will be kind of fun. But that's about it. Not too much to say. But Ico. Now, Ico has a legacy. This is a game with a legacy. This is considered one of the greatest games of all time. That it shows the gaming medium as the art form that it truly is. And I've only played like an hour or two of Shadows of the Colossus on the PS3 port. So I don't have too much experience with this game, but I do have some experience with its legacy, because people will not stop yapping about this game for good reason, and I really ought to play it one of these days. I got it. I even have the crappy cover, because the one thing about this game is that the cover fucking sucks. Look at it. It's just like this dude, this little kid, he looks fucking stupid. I think like the foreign covers, like maybe the covers in Europe or in Japan, like fare much better. I mean, Shadow of the Colossus has a great cover. It's just a big monster. It's like, you know, a big monster. It's got like, he's like in a golden background. The title looks great. I mean, the title is not the problem. It's just like, this looks like a platforming game, which I think you do platform in this game, but like the tone is like far removed from, let's say, like Crash Bandicoot. I mean, this kid, you know, he just looks silly as hell. He's got a raised eyebrows doing this. He's a fucking DreamWorks character, but that's not what the tone of the game is at all. Like, it's much more melancholic, much more sorrowful, much more subdued. And this cover doesn't show that off at all. I guess like the faded girl in the back, she's faded as hell. So I guess that kind of gives off that cover, but the kid just looks stupid. So, you know, people didn't buy it because of that. That's so sad. But I guess nowadays, you know, like the legacy of the game is so strong that a lot of people know better. But if you don't know better, just know that it's one of the most highly regarded games of its generation. So yeah. And moving on, Mortal Kombat. This is a game which got so much hype when it first released, and I could never play it, and I felt kind of sad about it. But nowadays, people seem to be more negative about it. But hey, I picked up a PS3 copy for cheap because I want to play as Kratos, even though I hear Kratos isn't even that good in this game. If it's possible to no damage the campaign in this, I'll do a video on it. But since it's a fighting game, I'm pretty sure it's going to be too cheap, or it's going to be too hard, or it's going to be too technical, so on and so forth. But if there's a way to do it, I'd like to do it. But yeah, not too much to say on this one, aside from the fact that like everyone was hyped about this game when it first dropped. But now all I can hear about it is that the animations suck, or that the boobs are too boobs. You know, people just aren't happy about that anymore. And also, I guess like with the modern Mortal Kombat games, there's like a bit of drama there, whether they're actually good or not. I don't know. People seem so mixed on these games. Like, are people who play Street Fighter or Tekken just shit on this game? But the people who play Tekken shit on their own games, it just doesn't make any sense. And the people who play Guilty Gear Strive are taken out back and shot like Old Yeller. That's gonna happen to me soon. Alright, so, what's next? Let me get out some games I have nothing to say. FIFA, I'm never gonna play it. I'm gonna play Mario Strikers. That's not even my game. Somebody else got that game. Ratatouille. Now this is the game I played as a child and it was awesome, dude. Jumping around felt great. The vibes were immaculate. Like you could enter dream worlds, which are basically just a ripoff of like the cookie worlds in Super Mario Galaxy. Most of this game might be ripping off Super Mario Galaxy, but you know what? It's a pretty solid rip. And you know, Ratatouille is a great movie. This cover's fun. Look at that, he's just hopping around here. The back cover's got knives, just showing you what you can do in the game. And it's a childhood classic, so it's basically perfect. And the little I've played, it's a pretty solid game. And I like to get back to it. I like to actually beat the entire thing through, because I never beat it the whole way through. I only played like the first and second level. Maybe the first, second, and third level, I think, are the only levels I've played, so that gives it a wrap on Ratatouille. I should probably like just beeline all the games I got in Iceland since they're useless. But before I talk about those games, let's talk about the Ultimate Board Game Collection. Now, what does the Ultimate Board Game Collection have? Let me read the back of the cover and let you know. So we have a collection of 20 board games from across the world, 14 playing locations, such as a tranquil garden, besides a cozy fire or a private den. Play against the computer or up to 5 other players. Computer opponent can be set to easy, normal, hard, based on the player's skill. Set your mood by choosing from classical pop or rock musical styles, win trophies for special achievements in each game, and all games have multiple options that allow you to customize how they're played. That doesn't tell me what games it has. Okay, this does. We have chess, checkers, anagrams, backgammon, concentration, dominoes, or complete 100 jigsaw puzzles. And also international games like Go, Mancala, Chinese checkers, and Mahjong. Oh, I know how to play Mahjong. You know what's the funny thing about Mancala? My first introduction to Mancala was in Club Penguin. Hey, reincorporation, because the online game, you could go into the coffee shop and play Mancala, and you know, when you're playing Club Penguin, you're like, what the fuck is this? You don't like register it as like an international board game. You're just like, oh, you throw rocks into places and the rocks sometimes go into other places. That's kind of cool. And then you kind of kill some time doing that, and then you just jump off a snowboard or something, you know? Club Penguin, baby. But yeah, Ultimate Board Game, I streamed this one time and the stream died. I don't know like what corruption it came across, but it did not hold well under pressure. So that's done then there. I'm going to check my camera to see that it didn't die on me. It has a 50% charge. The great thing about the mics I'm using is that they have a digital display which shows me if it's turned on or not and how the audio levels are. So that's very useful, because if it didn't have that, I wouldn't have known that it died on me the previous time. The way I have the mic positioned on me right now, you can see it on the viewer can see where the mic is, but when I put my head down here, I can't get my eyes on it. You know what's one way I can get my eyes on it? Using my phone camera. I can like just take a selfie, and with the selfie, I can see the mic. It has a green light. Okay, that's beautiful right there. But using my own eyes and my own body, I mean, I have to contort myself real hard to actually get anywhere. But yeah. Here's some games I got from Iceland. I have Warhammer 40K, Dawn of War, Solistroso. I don't know how to say that. Redemption Through Annihilation. So, you know, I have a physical copy. This game is made by THQ. Oh my goodness! Okay, the disc fell out. Okay, that is not a very hard disc. I got a manual, I got a disc, but is it possible to play? I haven't even tried, but I own it physically, so if I pirate it, I can just say I own it physically. Hey, you know, it didn't work. I had to find other means. Sorry. Whoa. That does not hold up in court. I have John Woo's Stranglehold. I hear a lot of good things of this game as a shooter, that it does a lot of cool stuff there, but I bought the PC copy in Iceland, so I don't even know if it's gonna hold up. This is such a weird genre of like release games for Windows. You know, you have Xbox 360, you have Nintendo Wii, you have PS3, and then you have games for Windows. I guess it lasted quite a while. I remember seeing a copy of Dark Souls, a physical copy with games for Windows, but, well, it's a dying breed. I don't know if that's really around anymore. And then we have We have Lego creator Harry Potter. I don't know what the fuck this is. I have no knowledge of this. I know the Lego Harry Potter games, the modern ones. I mean, modern by what? Like, did they release in like 2014, 2016? But I have Lego creator Harry Potter. He doesn't look right. He's too yellow. His expression is terrible. Oh man, this is probably a completely broken game. There's a term for these sort of things, abandonware. The developer abandons the game, abandons the website which has the code, which pretty much means that if you buy a game that's abandonware, you can't play it even through physical means, and you know, yeah, you have to find another way. Another way. Now here's a game my parents didn't want me to play. Lollipop Chainsaw. YouTubers would not shut up about this one. Angry Joe was like, this game is mid, you should buy it, 6 out of 10. And I'm like, hell yeah, I want to buy it. But when I go to the store and I put this cover in front of my parents' faces, they're like, no, we're not getting you that. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I never played it. But now I can make my own choices. So I bought the game and I still haven't played it. And this game's reputation isn't great because, you know, it's like so demeaning to women. No, the reason the reputation's not great, though, if I want to talk on that point, some of the humor in this game hasn't aged the best. Not because it's like, oh my god, it's so offensive. Oh my god, it's more that the joke gets kind of old. Like, a lot of people are just like you'll just come across random NPCs in this game and they'll be like, wow dude, you're so hot. After like 200 times of that, it's not funny anymore. And the reason people aren't that big on this game is that the combat I hear is rather repetitive and clunky, and that, yeah, the story just isn't to the standard of Suda51's other games. Yeah, this is in the canon of Suda51, but it's a strange case because it's also written by James Gunn. How he got involved in writing a video game, I don't know how does that work? Because this was also produced by like Warner Brothers, and this isn't directed by Suda51. This was kind of like the period where he was like producing games, but people still considered the games he produced like his own games, but they were directed by other people. It was a very strange time. Suda51 has taken a long time to pretty much put himself back in the director's chair, because now he's directing his own games with No More Heroes Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes 3, Romeo is a Dead Man. I have to hop on that. I've beaten all the No More Heroes games, and I need to beat Killer 7, because he did direct that one, and I do want to play it. He didn't direct No More Heroes 2. I guess that's kind of the distinction I have to make. He was in a producing stance with No More Heroes 2. So I guess when he's not in the director's chair, there's kind of like a sense that he doesn't have full control of the game and some things got past him. Some YouTubers, like G. Henry, has even made the claim that the sexualization in the games was a thing that he wouldn't push as hard when he's directing them. But when he's producing them, they tended to push harder on that because it's like, oh, it's a silly Japanese game. Even though with James Gunn directing this one, the Japanese thing... See, I've actually seen all the cutscenes of this game on YouTube because I couldn't own it. So I already know what the whole story is. No, wait, there's a whole... This shit is anime as fuck. Because there's like a whole thing where you have like the perverted sensei from Dragon Ball. That trope is in here. They fuck around with that. But it's also like the American grindhouse aesthetic. It's a fucking confusing game, and I'll play it eventually and I'll no damage it. But from everything I've spoiled myself on with this game, I know that the boss fights kind of suck. Like, the footage I've seen of the boss fights, they're either not all that, kind of cool, or very limited with the way you can approach them. So, I mean, like, you know, I'll no damage it to kind of fill out the list, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be a very good no damage in terms of, like, you know, cool boss fight. Oh my gosh. Anyways, to continue with the edge, we have DMC Devil May Cry, the game that everybody hated when it came out. And yeah, I never played it. Honestly, the only Devil May Cry games, I played some of the Devil May Cry games as a child, but the only ones I beat were Devil May Cry 1 and Devil May Cry 3 from the HD collection on the Xbox 360. And then I did the same thing on the PS4. And then I no-damaged the Switch version of Devil May Cry 1 and 3. And I have those videos on my channel if you want to check them out, or if you were unaware. But I haven't beaten any of the other Devil May Cry games. Not 2, not 4, not 5, and not DMC Devil May Cry. But I guess it's good that I waited on this one, because now, instead of having the original version that ran at 30 FPS and like chugged, we have this PS4 remastered port thing which, you know, runs at 1080p, 60 FPS, so that the graphics can be the best they can be. This version has a lock-on. The original version didn't have a lock-on, which is kind of weird because every single Devil May Cry game before this one had some sort of lock-on, but this one got rid of it because it was just didn't care for it. But this version of the game is the only one which has it. Not even the PC port, though I'm sure with the PC port you could probably like mod it back in or something. But yeah, I guess the reception with this game, now that it isn't like the path that we're going down, thank goodness, is that it's pretty good. I hear good things about this one, like the way it plays, but I guess people were more negative on it back then because this was supposed to be the replacement, the reboot for the entire franchise, but people hated the edgy direction so much that the developers got to make Devil May Cry 5 with the old cast again. So, you know, fun experiment. This the promo for this game insulted the original like so much. I think like during a GCQ, a panel where people got to talk about the game at some weird convention, they called the old Dante like a gay cowboy and they made fun of Brokeback Mountain. It's such a weird, that was a weird era. And also, is Alex Garland involved with the writing of this game? Alex Garland has a weird relationship with the video game industry. He directed Ex Machina, Annihilation, Men, Civil War, and I think he wrote like the 28 Days Later movies. He had some credit in writing those. And he wrote some video games. He wrote something like Escape from West Odyssey, and this one? Which, you know, isn't really good because the writing in this game kind of fucking blows. So, yeah, there's that. Now here we have a duology of games, a PS4 port of Bayonetta, and we have Vanquish. I've already played Bayonetta on the Switch actually, but I lost my Switch copy. I want to, wait, no, that's not true. I played it on the Wii U. I played the Wii U port. I have not bought the Switch port, but I would love to because I want to get back to Bayonetta, and hey, the whole trilogy is on the Switch now, so might as well play that. But for the first game, I might as well play it on PC because that'll give me the best graphics. But I have Vanquish here, and I have not played Vanquish. And Vanquish, I hear a lot of great things about it. I'd love to play it. Is this an important message? Bada beam, bada boom, toon 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 toon. I can wait on that message. But yeah, Vanquish is like one of the greatest shooter games just from the way, what I've looked at it. Like just like the fast pace, the bullet time, like the scale of combat. And now I guess I can play a version that like runs smooth. I mean, hey, if I play it on PC, it'll probably run smooth. Is it even on PC though? That's what confuses me. I don't know, but hey, I have a copy here and I ought to play it sometime and no damage it, because it seems like a game that's probably possible to no damage, because it looks like one of the coolest shooters of all time. It's directed by the same person who directed Resident Evil 4, Shinji Mikami. He's an absolute legend. I mean, I hope I got that name wrong. I hope I got that name right, because if I got it wrong, I'd be just, you know? There we go. The Lego Movie video game, I didn't buy this. I don't know. And also this game was weird as hell, because like the Lego games have a very familiar formula, and apparently this one kind of broke the formula to do different things. And I think I was put off by it like immediately, and I didn't continue with this one at all. So, you know, bye-bye. All right, my pile has shrunken down to 4 piles, and one of those piles is smaller than the other pile because it's my Xbox 360 games. I used to have like 40 Xbox 360 games, but I sold all of them, and I've been slowly rebuilding my collection, but my collection is now like 7 games instead of like the 47 I used to have, and I'm so fucking sad about that, man. Because I thought I'd be selling the Xbox 360 and like, you know, growing up and, you know, reducing my consoles, but nobody wants to buy my Xbox 360. Most of the retro game stores I go to reject me because they have too many of them. Oh, so, you know, now I'm just stuck with the Xbox 360. I might as well hack it and, you know, just enjoy life or something. But to continue with my Xbox 360 collection of games, I have a double feature. I have Marvel Ultimate Alliance and Forza Motorsport. I have 0 experience with this, so I'm not going to talk about it, but this I actually played as a child with 2 different versions. This was one of the PC games I played, which came in a box, and I played it on like my family's PC, and the graphics just like blew my mind, just like the vibes. Just being so close to the screen as a child was like, it blew my mind. But then one of my teachers gave me a copy of the game for the Wii, and then when my parents looked at it, they were like, your teacher shouldn't have done that. We don't allow you to play team games. So that was a bit of a weird mix-up, but hey, I had it. I played it on the Wii, and I never beat it. Didn't beat it on PC, didn't beat it on the Wii. I was confused, didn't play it for long. I was too busy doing homework. what was I, like fucking 5? This game came out, what, 2004, 2005? I mean, I was probably 5 if it came out during that time. But if it came out a couple years afterwards, do the math. But if I can no damage this, I'd love to just give it a go. Because it's such cool vibes. Just like the whole 4-player setup, being able to hit people. Like just, it's a Diablo game? It's like a Diablo style game. That's such a weird concept for a superhero game. But like, if I can no damage it, I'd love to. I'd love to give that a go. Just kind of like make my child self happy. And here I have a double feature of games that I've played in the past but never beaten. But one of these games I was very close to beating. I have Lego Indiana Jones and Kung Fu Panda. See, like Kung Fu Panda, I know exactly what level I reached. I was playing like a digital copy and then I deleted it for no reason. What, like to save memory, but I never got back to it. I reached the part where you're like training with Oogway or Shifu, you know, in the place where they train in the movie. Kung Fu Panda and me have a strange history, not a strange history, a varied history, because Kung Fu Panda, the movie, was the first Blu-ray I ever bought. And I actually bought like a Blu-ray system machine, not like a PS3 or PS4. And that was the first Blu-ray I ever bought. That was like so cool. It's so cool that's the first Blu-ray I bought. Toy Story 3 was the first movie I saw in IMAX, and Kung Fu Panda was the first Blu-ray I ever bought. Consumerism, but you know, with some nostalgia. I guess it tends to mix well. Companies like to exploit that. But yeah, no, Kung Fu Panda, doing a no damage to this one, love to do it one of these days. But, you know, I told you how far I got into this one. And Lego Indiana Jones, the thing with the early Lego games, that I would love to do a no damage to them, but I'm pretty sure it's impossible. Lego Batman is the one I want to do the most, but every time I research the game, people are like, yeah, you're going to get hit here, it's impossible, and you can do nothing about it, fuck you. And it's like, why? The modern Lego games you can do it, because the modern Lego games are just like ripping off fucking Platinum games. They got parries and dodges and like dodge offsets now, like they're all so fancy. Back in the day, you just stood there and you pressed the attack button and you either hit them or you died. You didn't have much to work with. But man, I wish you had more to work with, because I want to no damage Lego Batman. Honestly, I don't even care about Lego Indiana Jones that much. Lego Batman's where it's at, even though people seem to consider it one of the worst Lego games. Comparatively with Star Wars and Lego Indiana Jones. Okay, with Star Wars, I guess I can kind of understand, but Indiana Jones, Well, yeah. So yeah, moving on there. This is a recent purchase I just did here. Ninja Gaiden 2, and I'm not gonna lie, the reason I bought it is because I heard they were doing the remaster Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, and then I heard that they didn't improve on a lot of stuff, and in fact it was worse in a lot of areas. It was less hard, there was less enemies, and it didn't capture the magic of the combat of the original, so I was like, I'm gonna play the original. And I still haven't broken the seal on this, but I own it. And it's weird, because people say that like Ninja Gaiden Black might be the best one, but I don't own an original Xbox, and it seems like the only way to play it, like effectively, is to have an original Xbox, or to have the newest Xbox, which is backwards compatible, but not an Xbox 360. Apparently you can't play it on the Xbox 360 unless I'm wrong on that. I'd love to hear some corrections, but man, I gotta play this one, because this game, apparently it's like one of the hardest hack and slashes, but also like one of the most satisfying of all time once you finally get to play it and do it. And they say the same thing about Ninja Gaiden Black, and they say that Ninja Gaiden 3 is a piece of shit. So, you know. And Ninja Gaiden 4 is around, and I hear that one's pretty good, but whew, getting lightheaded here. But yeah, moving on from there. Just Dance 4, you know, to save some time, same situation as Just Dance. Wait, this isn't Just Dance 4, this is Just Dance 2018. It's got Shakira, it's got Junya, it's got Beyonce, Luis Fonsi, Despacito, it's got Bruno Mars, it's got, I don't want to fucking talk about it. Super Mario Galaxy 2, a game I'm surprised I never actually beat. I never owned it. I never even played it all that long. I played it for like an hour or two to get footage for like some of my older videos. And by older, I mean from last year. I recorded footage of this game, last year. I recorded footage of this game so I can no damage Mario Land. Wait, that's not even true. Actually, it is last year, because it's 2025 when I no damage Mario Land in Epic Universe, and you should watch that video, and I should give it 5 million views right now. But yeah, no, Super Mario Galaxy 2, everyone says this one's better. It doesn't have the same vibes, because Mario Galaxy 1 has vibes. It has like the sadness, it has the melancholy, it has like Rosalina storybook. This game seems to be chipper all the time, which I don't like. But apparently everyone says that the levels are like way better in this one, and like just the gameplay is like sublime. And hell, even if it is more of the same of the first game, it's still gonna be awesome. But I never played it, I never beat it. I want to no damage Super Mario Galaxy, I want to no damage Super Mario Galaxy 2, and I want to just play it normally too. So, you know, I don't know how many times I'm gonna keep repeating this motion here, where I kind of put it next to my face, and then away from my face, and then next to my face. And since this is a sign that I gotta check that my camera didn't run out of battery. Okay, my camera's trucking along, but I am about to reach the same length of the first recording. So this is gonna be a 2-hour long stream. This is not a stream. I mean, it is happening live, so it has that live element, but I'm trying to like remain composed enough, whereas like this is a podcast. Though a lot of podcasts, I mean, they are live, right? That's how they work. Though, I mean, to be fair, I mean, I'm being a bit reductive because, you know, the setting of the podcast can do so much. I mean, right now I'm trying to structure myself with the topic of choice, which is my entire physical gaming backlog. And I'm not including my digital games because like my Steam library like triples the amount of games. And I'm already struggling to talk about all these games right now. Okay, actually, if I'm going to talk about this one, I'm not even going to say the name. I got to bring out another game. I got to bring out the same game, but twice. Splinter Cell, Double Agent, Splinter Cell, Double Agent, Xbox 360, Nintendo Wii. These are two different versions of the same game, but they're not the same game. They have different campaigns centered around the same story. This one has gameplay that seems more familiar to those who've played the original trilogy. This one has gameplay that's very different, but might be like virtually the same. These two games might both be simplifications of what Chaos Theory were doing. But that's just hearsay I hear from reviews. I've never actually fully played either of these games. I've only played the first hours to record footage for like New Year's resolution videos. That's like the only reason I put these into their consoles and like, you know, hit record. So yeah. I mean, since I've already no-damaged every single other Splinter Cell game I've done, the first one, the second one, the third one, Conviction and Blacklist, this is the last one I really gotta do. These two are the last big games I need to no-damage in this franchise. And I gotta do it someday. I gotta stop delaying this, but you know, they're still here. So that's the story of Splinter Cell. And if I ever get around to Splinter Cell Double Agent, I'm gonna start with the Xbox 360 version. And if I feel inclined enough, I'll go with the... See, I wanna go with this version, but not exactly on the Wii. I only bought it for the Wii because it was like $3, but I hear that the Xbox version is the best version, but I don't own an original Xbox. Oh, man. What a day. What a night. It's nighttime. Crackdown. I played this game for 4 hours, and those 4 hours were so much fun. This is such a fun game to just fuck around in. But I owned it digitally. However, when I erased my Xbox 360 of all its memory to sell it off, but when I tried to sell it off, I couldn't. So I logged back to my Xbox Live account, and I had like 20 to 40 digital games, and they're all gone. So I don't know if I'll recover them if I like, you know, renew my Xbox Live Gold or something, but like, what the fuck? If I delete my memory, I don't get access to those games? Like, they're not linked to my membership, to my account? I had Mega Man 9 and 10 there. I had Zombies Ate My Name. No. I had I Heart Zombies. Like, Xbox Live had this weird series of indie games. They were called like Xbox Live Arcade games or Xbox Live Indies. There was like the weirdest shit. There was like the one game that's just like a runner. And mind you, I get most of my information from Best Friends Play. They played a lot of weird Xbox Live games. And some of those games are pretty awesome, so I just kind of stole their recommendations and got them myself. That one twin stick zombie shooter was so much fun, but now they're all gone! Fuck, dude! But, you know, I got Crackdown physically for like $20 or so, maybe a little less. And I gotta return to this one eventually. This cover is so weird because like the Xbox is blue. Is this like a fake cover? Why is it light blue? I mean, the light blue on the Xbox looks wonderful, but is that supposed to happen? Is that just how they did their old copies? I don't know. So there's that. And now, Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. I put 40 hours into this. I barely scratched the surface. I didn't go into this one nearly as hard as I did with Monster Hunter 4, but you know, after 40 hours, I kind of stopped. I sold my Wii U. And the only other Wii U I have, I'm like borrowing from someone, and they're gonna want it back eventually. But you know what? Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, I have it. I think this isn't even my first copy of the game, because I sold my copy when I sold my Wii U, and I just bought this again because I'm borrowing a Wii U, and I thought, you know, maybe eventually, you know, once in a blue moon, I'll hop on this game and, you know, do a little no damage. I think what surprises me is that the 3DS version really isn't that different if my experience with like Monster Hunter 4 is anything to go off of. So playing it on the Wii U just doesn't feel like that much of an upgrade. But I might be talking out of my ass with this one, but hey, I gotta hop on this one eventually. Now here is a game which I don't have the original cover for, but I really wish I did because Mad World has a sick ass cover. It's the dude with the chainsaw, black and white with like the hint of red, like Sin City. Hell yeah. Mad World is the game that always got compared to No More Heroes in all the YouTube videos I saw as like the mature, edgy game for the Nintendo Wii. And it's always one I wanted to play, but I only ended up playing the No More Heroes games. But now, Mad World. Yeah, I threw a tantrum to get this game in a store, and I didn't get it back then. I only got this one when I was an adult. Consequences. But yeah, I gotta hop on this one. I've talked about this one before on the channel, and if you're anywhere here in the scene of Sega's games on the Nintendo Wii, you've probably heard of this one too. And now, oh, okay, whoa, this is a lot of games. Let's see, let's hope I'm not missing anything here. Whoa, let's do a new trilogy, but this trilogy is gonna be a little out of order here. And hold up, I'm gonna take a short break actually before I tackle this epic trilogy real quick, just to inform some people of some things. Ooh-wee. So, I did the same thing. I went to go eat something and I came back, and now I'm going to talk about the epic trilogy, the Zelda trilogy. Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, and Breath of the Wild. This is a trilogy of Zelda games I have not beaten, but I own them. The first one I actually bought as a child is Skyward Sword. But I think I got as far as the volcano world and I was just stuck there and I didn't know how to move forward. So as a child, that's as far as I got, and then I never went back to it. Now so Twilight Princess, I've never touched this game. Like literally haven't even like put it in the case, never played it with a controller. Now this one I've played for 3 hours and then I just kind of got bored and I moved on, which is like, how could you do that with this masterpiece of a game? I guess just I wasn't focused, man. But now I can play it on the Switch too at 4K, 60 FPS. You know, the most beautiful version of the game. I really gotta like restart my file though. There's like nothing going on in the first 3 hours I did of that game. So yeah, that's my experience with Zelda. I really liked Ocarina of Time. And I've played Link to the Past, never beat it. I used to own it physically on the Super Nintendo, but you know, that went the way of the Super Nintendo I used to own. Gone. Forever. So that's the sadness there. And it's kind of a sadness because, you know, these Zelda games are considered some of the greatest of all time, and I've only beaten the first one, and it's the one which is like the most popular one by far. Though I guess now maybe Breath of the Wild has that thing, but Ocarina of Time kind of has that, like, you know, old head. Is old head a correct thing to say here? Like kind of like experience over it, like, I was the first 3D Zelda. I am the classic. Everyone plays me. But now people are like, you know, classic, I don't care about the classical definition of classic. I'm going to call this one a classic despite being a modern game. Fuck you. So, I don't know what else to say about Zelda other than like this one doesn't have the best reputation. This one sometimes gets dogged on because he's like literally a dog. But people seem to really like this one. And Breath of the Wild is considered a masterpiece aside from like 3 YouTube essays which say that actually it's mid. So there we go, that's Zelda. I think I've covered all the Zelda games in my collection, and ooh, my pile has shrunken down to 3 piles, but really, the pile in the middle has gotten very small, so I can actually take this pile and this pile. Oh, I almost messed up there. 1 pile, boom. We have 2 piles left, and we started with 7, now we have 2. 2, V for Peace, Peace Walker. Peace Walker Part 2 will come out. It will come out. So here, let's start off with a game that my friend let me borrow and I haven't really touched it much. Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz HD. I think this is the one where Kiryu Kazuma from the Like a Dragon, Yakuza, Ryuga Gotoku, Pirate, Kiwami series. Okay, you know what was fucking weird? I'm gonna complain about Yakuza. Even in my pilot for the IMON podcast, I can't stop complaining about Yakuza. See, I can't bring up any Yakuza game because I've beaten all of them and I own a majority of them and I can't show any of them because I've beaten them all up. They're not in my backlog. In fact, I've beaten all of them like 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 times. And I just have to complain that like now the titling is so confusing for this series. Because back in the day, all right, like back in the day, in Japan they were called Ryuga Gotoku, like a dragon. And in the West they were called Yakuza. But really, Ryuga Gotoku was more representative of the series' like identity. The games weren't strictly about being a Yakuza, but they were about being like a dragon. But then when Yakuza 7 comes out, the titles are like completely different. They got rid of the 7 and now it's just Yakuza Like a Dragon. It's like, okay, so we're gonna move on with the Like a Dragon titles. And for a while, that was true. We had Like a Dragon Gaiden, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. That title fucking sucks. They should have just called it Pirate Yakuza. Just, you know, like cut all the fluff. Because in Japan, I think it was just called like Pirate Yakuza. It didn't have like the Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. It didn't have all these like extra things. It was just called Gaiden. But now we have Yakuza Kiwami 3. Well, that just shows no dedication. And you know, the company, like the American, you know, like Sega of America is actually fully like all in on this difference because they're trying to market themselves like, we have our Like a Dragon series of games, we have our Yakuza series of games, and then we have this secret third thing. I think it was Judgment. They had like a whole commercial with like Pro Z, ZD, the guy who did a lot of famous like funny Vine clips, and he also just voice acts in anime and video games now. They had him all dressed up as like Majima and Ichiban and Kiryu, and he was all explaining like, ooh, you have this delicate, you know, 3 series of games, but it's like, no! There is no difference between the Like a Dragon and Yakuza games. They're all Yakuza, but they used to be called Like a Dragon in Japan, and they're still called Like a Dragon in Japan, but now in English, we got this whole... Okay. Monkey ball. Monkey, it spins around, it goes in circles. Banana Blitz. Here's another game I didn't buy. Somebody else bought this game. I don't care. And now here's a game where things get a little bit confusing because I've already talked about Super Mario 64. I've already talked about Super Mario Sunshine. I've already beaten Super Mario Galaxy, but now they're in this 3D All-Star Collection, which was meant to be limited for no reason. Like Nintendo was like, on March, we're gonna stop selling this. Why would you do that? Well, apparently it's because when they released Mario, because they released a new like HD version of Mario Galaxy, but this time the graphics are actually better. Because in this version, they barely improved it. And you can tell because when you're looking at this new version, it's like, wow, they're actually way better now. So this version was a fucking fraud. This was a robbery. But man, it had such a great title, and it was like the only way people could play it on the Switch at the time. So it's like, eh. I mean, hey, I haven't talked about Super Mario 64, the original, which I haven't beaten that one. Yeah, just straight up haven't beaten it. Didn't beat it on the DS, didn't beat the original, didn't beat Sunshine. In terms of Mario, I'm kind of fraudulent, but I beat Galaxy. And I'm not even sure if I did. I think my cousin beat it and I just played the final No, that's not true. Because 3 to 4 years ago, I actually played it on my own again on a replay and I did all that myself. Though, if you want to call me a fraud, I didn't get all the stars. I only did the main story. So, yeah, I guess we'll just leave it at that. Super Mario Wonder, the modern Mario game. Every time I play this with my friends, they're kind of like, wow, this is kind of whack. I want to play New Super Mario Brothers on the Wii. Which I'm very confused what this game's reputation is, because I think like a lot of people, I think like Donkey was like, wow, this game's freaking sweet. This game is like so wonderful. But then there'll be a video that's like, this game is for TikTok babies and for attention deprived like idiots. I don't know, like people seem to be pretty negative on Super Mario Wonder. And just like, whenever I play it, I'm like, oh, this is kind of fun. But then when I play it with my friends, like, I think the thing is that the first couple levels of this game set such a bad impression. Because like the first levels are like, there's like the first one, which is really easy. And then there's the second one, which is just like the singing piranha plants. And at that point, it's just kind of like, I'm too old for this. You know, this is for babies. You know, they play the first 2 levels of like Super Mario, like, you know, Bros. Wii. It's like, they're actual levels, you know, you can actually die in them. And also the way the multiplayer worked in those games, you can bounce against each other and it made everything a lot more annoying, but I guess that was kind of the fun of it. But now the multiplayer in this game just kind of works the same as it did in Rayman Legends. Oh, you know, the second time I played this with some friends and family, The reason we didn't have so much fun is because everyone played as Yoshi, because Yoshi is everybody's favorite character. But I'm pretty sure Yoshi is the easy mode in this game, and you basically can't die. Which is like, I think that's kind of a bum move. I want to play as Yoshi normally, but no, Yoshi's just the easy mode. Like you don't get any power-ups, you don't die, you can fall in holes, that's how you die. But you don't have like the ebb and flow of playing as, you know, Mario or Luigi or Peach or Daisy or Rosalina. Wait, is Rosalina even in this game? I don't think she is. She's not on the cover. It's only Daisy and Peach. They got a Goomba. Because, you know, you be stomping on Goombas. Chris Pratt knows about that. And now we have Metroid Other M. I played 3 hours of this. YouTube tells me this is a bad game. I had some fun with it, but once again, haven't beaten it. The gimmick of playing this with only the Wiimote is very strange. Like, just like, yeah, no nunchuck, just only Wiimote to do this action-heavy game, and sometimes you'll point at the screen to do a thing or two. Like, I don't know, it's a weird gimmick but the little I played, it was decently fun. I gotta return to this one, but I really gotta beat the Metroid Prime games, or the Super Metroid games, or just any Metroid game in general, or Metroid Dread. I hear great things about that. You know what game I don't hear great things about? Metroid Prime 4, sadly. And that one's been teased since like the inception of the Wii U. And it's finally come out, and apparently it's not great. But at least the trilogy is solid from what I hear, so I gotta play that Metroid Prime trilogy. But I'm bound to get lost, and I'm probably gonna look up a walkthrough, because my exploration skill in those Metroid games are just like kaput. And here, I was talking about you like 2 hours ago. Gran Turismo 4. You can do 1080p somehow, maybe, in this game if you set it up with like a e-printer, like compatible thing. I don't know. But Gran Turismo 4, I mean, hey, I bought this for $10 near a racetrack, retro game store, and one day I'll play it, even though I have no experience with racing games. But, you know, this game has a legacy. People say that this one is pretty sweet. So speaking of legacy, my cousin gave this Ghost Rider game a massive legacy because he showed me this game when I was 10 and it looked awesome. And then when I looked into it when I was older, people consider this an awesome game. It's like a God of War, Devil May Cry clone, but you know what? It's a pretty sick one. And Ghost Rider is always cool. Dude, this is one of the coolest designs of all time. Just leather coat, floating skull with flames, the chains, dude. Like, it's one of the coolest characters of all time. It's undeniable how cool Ghost Rider is. Who cares if every time he gets a movie, like, everyone thinks it's trash? It's always the coolest character. Wait, did someone call me right now? I don't know. But this is a game I need to know damage one of these days, and if I don't, well, impossible. I'm going to do this one. And here's a game I played quite a bit as a child, but never got too deep into it. Speed Racer, the video game. I think my cousin had this one, so I got to play a lot of it that way. So there's two versions of this game which are exactly the same. There's the Wii version, and then there's the PS2 version. And the reason I want to make that distinction is because on the PS2, I'm pretty sure you control the game with the controller, but on the Wii, I think you're permanently stuck with motion controls, which, you know, I might get used to it, but also that is unreliable. And, you know, I really wish there was a way to not play with motion controls, but I'll see about no damaging it anyways. Except, I'm pretty sure this game is impossible to no damage, but this game has immaculate vibes. It's like F-Zero Light from like the little I've played, and I've never played F-Zero except in an arcade one time. But even F-Zero Light just looks really impressive. And just like Speed Racer, his car from the movie just looks immaculate. Yo, get that weak shit off my track! Absolutely, I will. Thank you. And now here's a game I played with my mates quite a lot, but I don't think I got too far into it. Mario Super Sluggers. Though I say I played this a lot with my mates, but the time I played it with my mates, I was very, very young. And I think that period of my time, I'm actually forgetting. I'm starting to forget it now because I don't have the most vivid memories of this game compared to like Wii Sports, and especially not compared to Smash Brothers. Smash Brothers has been with me for like nearly a decade now. I mean, it's been with some people even longer than a decade. So, you know, but Sluggers, I'll give this a go at some point. And hey, I mentioned to you before, Mario Strikers Uncharted. When I actually played this recently with some mates like a few months ago. Oh, this game is just awesome. Like, if this is what FIFA is like, I gotta hop on some FIFA or something because, like, man, this game is so much fun. Just like all the effects, the superpowers, like the skill-based gameplay, the items. If there's a story mode, I gotta no damage it, but how do you no damage soccer? I don't know. I'm not even that good at this game, but you know what? Like, it's so killer. It has immaculate vibes, and the Switch version I hear just doesn't capture the same edge. It's not even like this game is that edgy, but it just has so much personality. Just absolutely killer app. This is a killer app, for sure. And here, this game, I have a history with. I've mentioned this history many times before, but back when I was like 9 or 10 years old, I've seen some people play God of War 2 and House of the Dead 2, and I had like the recognition that I am 10 years old, I can't play a mature game, but when I'm allowed to play mature games and can buy them, I want to own and play God of War 2 and House of the Dead 2. And now I've owned, I've beaten, and I've no damaged God of War 2, and now I haven't beaten, and I haven't no damaged House of the Dead 2. That's what's left on the docket. That is the mission moving forward. At some point, someday, this will happen. That is my promise from me to you on this pilot episode of the IMON podcast. Boom. GoldenEye 007. I used to have a copy of this, then I sold it, and then I regret selling it because I only sold it because I heard a bunch of YouTubers say, oh, the N64 one's like the iconic game, and this game is a bunch of nonsense. But you know what? This game has kind of like built its own little legacy. I think I got like a weird port on the Xbox 360. And my friend owns that weird port, but if I can no damage this one, I think I want to. It's such a weird little thing, these shooter games on the Wii, the way you have to like point at the screen and use it. Like, let me tell you, pointer controls with Resident Evil 4, immaculate. Pointer controls with a lot of these first-person shooters, very strange and off-putting. Like, it doesn't feel good at all, but maybe this one will be okay. I don't know. I also have to play the original GoldenEye, and I have to see the movie. I haven't seen the GoldenEye movie. I haven't seen many James Bond movies. Like, I basically grew up with a Daniel Craig, like, a saga, even though I only saw the first 3 movies in that saga without seeing the second one. I never saw Quantum of Solace. I only seen Casino Royale and Skyfall, and I saw, like, the final one where Daniel Craig is, like, over from, like, the corner of my eye while I was doing something else. So that's my history with James Bond's there. And here is another gift from a distant relative, except this one doesn't have a scathing negative population. This is Mercury Meltdown Revolution. Not any idea what this game does, but the graphics look pleasing, and the idea of like controlling like a flexible Mercury blob. Flexible is the wrong word, just like malleable. Like it can like change shapes and it's always shiny. That honestly, it just kind of appeals to a certain part of my brain. It's very satisfying. But I've never played this. I've never seen gameplay of this. I have these screenshots on the back of the board, and that's it. But, you know, this game doesn't... Oh my gosh. Okay, the features listed here. We have... The next evolution is Revolution. Guide your shimmering blob of liquid metal through a crazy cartoony world full of tricky traps and devious devices. The aim is simple. Progress through a series of wacky labs. Avoid the dangers and escape without spilling your precious mercury. Normal, hot, cold, solid. Full interaction using the Wii Remote Motion sensor. Support for the classic controller. Okay, you're winning me over. You're already avoiding the motion controls. Bonus features to unlock. Fuck yeah. www.ignitionusa.com. Over 150 challenging levels. 480p support. That's your advertisement? That you can do 480p? Oh, okay. There's even like a gold star with all these like recommendations. State-of-the-art blob physics. You know what's a game I want to own and play? Le Blob. The Blob. It was like this Ubisoft game with this like blue or red blob. And they got a lot of commercials. There's also another game I think it was called like Boom Blocks Bloom. And it was just like a game about like stacking blocky people on top of each other and blowing them up. And you know what's a game which I never beat? And I lost my copy of, and I want to reclaim my copy of it because it was like, I think it was one of my first DS games ever, or just one of my most cherished. Zubo. Wait. I bought Zubo, didn't I? Or did I fuck up my buying of a copy of Zubo? Wait. Dude, I could have sworn that I recently bought a copy of Zubo. Is it in... What the hell? Dude, I need to have a copy of Zubo. There's no way. I've got to have a copy of Zubo. Like when I looked it up online, I don't remember it being that expensive. I guess I'll check up on my camera to see that it's doing all right. But Zubo is a turn-based RPG where you can make the impact of your attacks do more damage whenever you tap the screen, and there's like an outline, and there's all these colorful characters. There's like a dragon guy, Ryu. There's a robot. There's a pop idol. It's basically Yakuza 5, you know? And it was awesome. And it was a very crude game, a lot of crude humor. You collected like a party of people, like they were called Zubos, and you could use them to fight other people. And if it's possible to no damage that game, my goodness, I gotta do a no damage of it. But I think it might all just be like rhythm-based, like timed puzzles, you know, just like Yakuza. Man, that game was cool. That was a cool little game. I have got to play it. And here, Scarface for the Nintendo Wii. I forgot what YouTuber told me this, but I heard a YouTuber say that the pointer controls in this were kind of awesome. So that's why I went for the Wii copy specifically, not like the Xbox 360 copy. This is the same guy who recommended Resident Evil 4 for the Wii, so I'm just gonna take his word that this version is also awesome, but I got to play. The cover I have here isn't even a cover, but the game is true. That is a disc for Scarface, The World Is Yours, a GTA ripoff that I heard was pretty fun actually. So let's just throw this into the pile here. Now, Punch-Out is a game which I think I've beaten, but you know what? I might as well beat it again. Like, the original is very fun, and this one is just like a perfect return to form. Like, new 3D graphics, amazing effects, like incredible humor, and just like the perfect update this franchise needed. And it was so iconic that the character got to come into Smash Brothers, and just like the way they reinvented Little Mac for this game is just, you couldn't do better. Like, this is an outstanding effort, and I think it was the same company that did Super Mario Strikers. They put so much personality into the games they handled, and you know, I might be talking out of my ass here, but still, this is a banger. This is an absolute banger, and if you haven't played it, you ought to play it, even though I don't know if it's possible on the Switch too. And here's the game I actually bought from a pawn store, Final Fantasy X. And I was inspired to pick this up because every time I hear about the HD collection, I'm always hearing about how they fucked up the graphics, so you know, to avoid all that drama, let's just go back to the original. The original didn't have any issue with the graphics. It was the first one. It was made perfectly for that system. Let's just play it there. But I have not played a single second of Final Fantasy X. I played like Final Fantasy VI, like a Game Boy Advance cartridge, like way back in the day, and I had no idea what I was doing, and I sold it, and I sold my Game Boy Advance, and I regret selling all these consoles, even though they're probably easy to emulate, but still, I regret selling all these consoles. I have to get back to Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories on the Game Boy Advance, because I'm not that interested in playing the 3D version, but I'll play the 3D version eventually, but still. Final Fantasy X, baby. Water. If you know, you know. And oh, we're gonna end it off with a trilogy. This episode is coming to a close, and is coming to a close with dun, 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 the Prince of Persia trilogy. Prince of Persia, Sands of Time. Prince of Persia, Warrior Within. Prince of Persia, The Two Thrones. I have played like an hour and a half of this one. I played 2 hours of this one because my cousin remembers this game and he loves it. And I was playing on the hardest difficulty. He couldn't beat the first boss. I hopped in, beat it on my second try. Boom, because I'm a gamer. And this one, I have no idea what it even looks like, but people say it's kind of positive. But people generally hold this one as the best one in terms of narrative and story, if the YouTuber Zero Punctuation is to be believed. And I hear that these ones improved the combat and the platforming, but that the story didn't mesh as well as this original game, but this trilogy is still held in high regards for its very stellar, smooth, and awesome gameplay. And I hear that the newer ones didn't really hit the same mark. I heard that that reboot game was kind of fun, but that the story just wasn't hitting the same beats. And there was this like this very, very new Prince of Persia game, which was like a 2D game, and it was made by the same people that made Rayman Legends, which is awesome. And I do hear that this game is pretty awesome too, but not exactly in the same spirit as Prince of Persia. They were doing like a remake of this one, and I think that got canceled despite being fully done. I don't know where I got that information, but Prince of Persia is not in the best state right now, even though I did hear that 2D game was pretty awesome. And that wraps up my physical backlog of me on the IMON podcast. So yeah, thank you so much for sticking around, and yeah, I like to hear your thoughts on whether this style of content is worth $5, because I do plan on kind of like paywalling this behind the $5. This will be the exclusive Patreon content. But because this is the pilot, I'm going to release this one to my $1 Patreons, and then soon enough to everyone, just to kind of give you a taste of what I'm going to be releasing on my Patreon. So the next episode, it could be movies, it could be music, it could be something completely different, books, Like right now I'm just kind of starting off with games because I thought it was a good episode. It'll fill out time nicely, and I think it did fill out time nicely. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on how I can improve this format. I think I got a good thing going with the camera. I'm not shooting raw footage, but I am shooting with like a nice lens. This mic I think helps me out a ton with how I'm able to move, because before I'm not going to grab the big mic. The big mic is kind of permanently stuck where it is right now. I don't want to mess around with that, mess around with the cables. It's going to be a pain. But yeah, no, this green screen is easy to move. This chair is easy to move. And I should probably start reflecting on how to make the episode. And I should just make the episode as it is. I mean, I gotta stop dragging out the conclusion. Thank you so much for watching nearly 2 hours of me yapping about 70 games I haven't played. And I'll see you all then for the next video where I yap about more things I haven't seen. Peace out.